Greetings, everyone. And welcome to a very special new leafy episode of Monster Party.
Monster Party! It's fresh. It's the future. It's start of the beginning.
It's a whole new world.
It is. Hey, easy there, cowboy.
It is. Wow. Was I pushing the limits?
Well, I think you might have been. And speaking of limits, who are you, sir?
I am Matt Weinhold.
I am Shawn Sheridan.
I'm Larry Strothe.
And I'm James Gonis.
And this episode, it's perfect for our first episode of the new year.
Yes. 2000.
What is it, 19?
Can you believe we're living in the 2019?
Oh, man, remember?
Yeah.
We never pictured a dystopian future like this.
Yes.
There was Blade Runner. There was Total Recall.
Right.
Really cool, parking meters.
They all took place in 2019.
Yeah.
Total Recall,
Oh my
Blade
gosh.
Runner, and
That's
something
right.
else. I forget.
All right, we're going to get to you in a second.
Yes, but what is our topic, sir?
Our topic is New Fears Resolution.
New Fears resolution. New Fears. It's the new leaf year.
Now, don't read
Fears.
too much into the whole New Fears thing. It's really just kind of a little fun way to say New Year's. We're not. There's no. You don't have to work in fears or anything. But what this show is about. It's about resolutions. It's about resolutions you might have for the new year. It might be resolutions that you want other folks to have. People in science fiction and horror and fantasy, people who make TV shows and comic books or whatever.
People sitting next to you.
People sitting next to you. Yes, you can imprint a resolution on one of us that you thought up. I would love that. That would be great.
And I know you would love it, but who have you brought, sir, to guide us?
To usher us into this
New year.
Talk about friend of the show. Longtime friend of the show. Amazing friend of mine for years. Comedian supreme. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackie KASHIAN.
Jackie
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Host of the Dork Forest.
Host of the Dork Forest.
Yes.
Right.
Perhaps if you had done
Dialogue.
your
Yeah.
research, you could have said that at the beginning.
You just did it.
I did,
Well,
yeah.
yes.
Well,
You
well,
guys,
at the beginning.
you've done it. You've done it.
That's
Yes.
right. We've
You've
actually
all
have
done
all
it.
been on.
It's-
I think not
but
all
not
four of us
singly.
together.
Right.
Yes.
no, we
The
haven't
one
done
time.
that.
Not yet, but we have all been on it. Yes.
Wow.
Different, yes, and you
Right.
should all-
It's a good show.
Awesome.
Did you see how hard it was for him to say that? That was. I mean, it was like he coughed on his own ego.
No,
Like,
this is the new leaf year.
No, it's so
Yes.
not. You're worse than you've ever been. Really? Like,
numerology is dead.
yeah, what happened on the way here? Just life, right?
It's the
you
new-
hit life with your car.
This, this is great talking all about me, but I
thought
think
you would
we
love
should-
that.
No, because I want to talk about. I want to get into this.
Yeah,
Some of
Larry-
these new fears and new fears resolutions.
Yes, Larry.
Yes.
We all have our resolutions.
We do.
But what if we let our guest start?
Okay.
With a resolution for the new year.
I agree.
Again, could be you, could be whatever. Go.
My New Year's resolution, and I don't do them, but I came up with one for this
Just
event.
for this, for fun.
For this
For
event,
shits and
because
giggles.
every day's a new year for me. Every year, is it ever going to be April 12th again? I say
It's
to
Groundhog
myself,
Day for you.
Exactly. So what I'm working towards currently
Okay.
is having more hope in the future.
Wow.
And
What's that like?
Well, I know it. I know it. Speaking of dystopian futures, is this dystopian present? We've already plowed through. We've plowed through the dystopian present. We might be halfway through our own civil war. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping we're halfway through our civil war, and that nobody ever lines up, because nobody does anymore with with wars. Nobody
No.
ever lines up and shoots at each
No,
other.
no.
Oh, that's
Pew,
old
pew,
hat.
Pew pew.
No, but
And,
he'll bring that back.
Right, with the wall.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so what I'm hoping is I'm going to try to just while still being still confronting asshats, I am
Sure.
hoping to live in some hope for the future.
Wow.
And so what's your strategy for this?
Ooh, strategy is a good word. The strategy is because the thing is you can beat yourself up if you're supposed to live in, like I've always been a giant crystal clutcher, right? Like a big bleeding heart
crystal
liberal.
collector?
Yeah,
do you have a crystal? I'm just
I have
curious.
several crystals.
You do?
I am at this time. I believe in my handbag there is a rose quartz. You guys, I've lived in Los Angeles for over 20 years.
Wow. Do we need to burn some sage or anything? Just
My loved one.
because Larry's energy needs to be cleansed.
It's I think somebody posted a sage gif on their Twitter feed to cleanse their Twitter feed.
Okay.
And,
so you're Miss Crystal.
You got the
like
crystal.
Yes.
Okay.
I used to say Nicaragua back in the 80s, you guys. I mean, I have been insufferable for decades. So
I never really noticed that part.
well, I've kept it pretty well hidden. I did never say Nicaragua like that, but it's a good example of
don't tip the story. Like
why would I give it away?
now? I want to
Exactly.
believe that.
Exactly. I did own a dream catcher at one point. That's
we all?
almost insufferable.
If you ever got gas, you had to get a dream catcher.
What?
Yeah, in every gas station, there's a
Oh,
dream catcher.
there was a
kiosk.
Coca Pelli.
okay.
There was an opportunity to learn
And
about
if you have gas,
That's
the dream catcher will catch the gas.
See, that's where I thought your little mind was
Much
going
like
to go.
the Stephen King movie Dreamcatcher.
See this
We'll do.
little mind. No, mind. I don't nothing. I've done nothing to him so far. Nothing. All I do is build him up, and look what he does.
tearing you down. It's so
No.
yeah.
So again, I want to know. You got your crystals.
strategy.
You got
What
your
is the-
crystals.
Well,
no. So
you got,
the
you got
strategy
your hope.
is, so here's the thing: is me and my hope, because whenever you claim to be this sort of bleeding heart liberal, that everyone's
Right.
like, you're a progressive, you're a liberal, you're a Democrat,
Sure,
you're
yeah.
a Code of Hammurabi, the whole thing, right? I'm a big fan of the illusion of government. Fake it till you make it. So baby steps. Let's do this.
Yes.
And but there's always this judgment that that you have to be more tolerant than the bad guys, and they're like, somebody was a dirtbag in 1987. They did cocaine. How do you stand up for that person? And you're like, well, that guy grabbed a pussy like a year ago. Why do I have to? Don't hold me to higher standards than you hold yourself. So what I'm
Right.
saying is that I want to hold myself to a standard, a realistic standard of
Okay.
hope and joy and peace and tolerance, while also confronting full-on rage-filled hate and ignorance.
Rage.
Like being realistic at the same time.
Are you listening, Larry?
I'm so impressed. I'm like overwhelmed because I was going to talk about like toys and movies, but I'm like,
I was told that
I feel so small and insignificant. And
I was told to
Yeah.
bring toys and opinions about science
Now,
fiction, but
here's a
I
hoop-
was asked a real thing first.
Yeah. Well, now here's a thing for you. Here's a hoop for you to jump through. Then
There we go.
take that strategy, that
Yes.
ideology, and apply it to
Comic books.
science fiction, horror, fantasy. How would you do that?
Well, I would
What
say
pisses you off that you now have maybe a softer, gentler attitude towards?
Oh, interesting. You got one?
yeah, but go.
No, you go first because then I'll know what I'm looking for.
You're
I
the
got-
guest. You're the guest.
You are allowed to cede
Right,
your
I'm
seat,
gonna
your time.
I'm gonna cede the mic for a second so that I have time.
Okay.
to
This,
regroup.
Okay, because this is really superficial. Okay, it's my name. So, Sean has commented on like the last Star Wars film. He was really he really disliked.
Right.
Last Jedi?
The Last Jedi, and the funny
most
thing
of
is-
us did, right?
And I rewatched it, and it's funny because Sean's comments, I couldn't deny everything that Sean said about what happens with Princess Leia and certain things that Luke Skywalker does,
Yeah,
and
it's
there's
pretty
certain
awful.
things, and it's like you're hitting the nail on the head. You really are, and it's
He's
like
a
I
genius.
can't. He
We're
is.
very
He's
lucky.
like,
I
think we're all thinking that, yeah.
No. See, for me, I was like, what does Sean know? He's all cerebral.
It's like how many years of friendship?
But I'm watching it and I go,
These are
Sean,
friends,
Sean
right?
is,
Maybe it is a new leaf.
Sean is so right. But then I thought to myself, the first one though wasn't as I was excited.
Force Awakens.
Yes, Force Awakens. I was excited about it, and I was bummed. I was so excited to see Luke Skywalker in the second one.
Right.
It kind of
Right.
to seeing him kind of it was like the check on, well, it made up for all the bad stuff.
And he was like one of the best things about that movie.
He is the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
there are some...
Did you guys love that he kept whining? I was psyched that he was still a fucking whiner.
Yeah.
See,
I'm like
no.
37 years
Stay in
later. I'm like,
character.
See, and now-
completely in character.
No, and this is where you get into my...
What? You want me to stand in front of a bunch of people with a sword? Yes.
It's a
yes.
piece of junk.
It's
But you see, that's when I would get into my fantasy Star Wars mind, and I have this my own little thing. And I'm sure there are a lot of listeners out there. You see certain things in Star Wars, and you go, that didn't happen. Or when they talk about the the Metacoctrian or the Metachlorians,
Right.
and it's like, oh, that didn't happen in my mind, in my magic Star Wars fantasy mind. That actually didn't happen in my Star Wars universe. That doesn't actually exist. As I watched it a second time, I thought to myself, Sean's right. I can't look.
What did you not like about it,
No,
Sean?
no. I'm talking. Okay. So I'm.
Why haven't I listened to the canon? I'm so sorry, you guys.
But it's like I watched the second time. Sean is right on every point. However, I thought to myself, I should.
You can't be right on every point. Then, however,
No,
You're surrounded by ingratitude.
He was, but I thought to myself, I am still so excited that look, they did this second movie. They're gonna do the third. Disney is creating Star Wars Land, and
That's the sequel I will go to.
And I'm all excited about it, and so I am hopeful. I'm optimistic. I have hope in my heart.
And the Star Wars TV shows, too.
Yes.
But see,
yes,
this is here's okay. Well, then I'm going to rain on this parade because people are constantly hoping that the next Star Wars is going to be good, and then Force Awakens, and you go, well, that's kind of good, and then you think about it a little bit, and you go, well, actually, it's really the first one over again.
Yeah.
But still, it kind of captured the feel of it, and there's some interesting characters.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it, but it's certainly nothing I would ever care to watch again. If you want to save Star Wars, watch the first film and just stop there. I would say maybe, okay, look, you want to enjoy yourself, you want to go a little crazy, check out Empire.
I got
Empire's fun.
I got current Star Wars. It's great, but go ahead.
But if Matt, if you were at the age you were when you saw the first Star Wars film, and instead of that movie, you saw Force Awakens, would you have that? Because a lot of it is, I think, the
Being
nostalgia
11.
appeal that is so strong with our generation that carries over a lot. Because even the first Star Wars movies is certainly not like a perfect movie, but it has such charm and such, I don't know, for me at least. I mean, it
Firefly
really did.
was better than the first Star Wars movie.
Whoa.
Well, objectively, it's space cowboys. That's all it is, right?
Yeah,
What's
but-
wrong with
and-
Space
Fi-
Cowboy?
there's nothing
Firefly-
Is there a Wookiee?
But
in
Firefly is a little bit more
Firefly?
mature of a
Star
of a
Wars-
story.
But it's which is why it's better.
Star Wars is a very light-hearted Kurosawa movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it
It's
I
the
mean,
hidden
it was
force.
Kurosawa is an adult cowboy movie.
Yeah,
so,
well,
yes.
yeah.
But,
And
we,
we're like,
but we've said
yeah.
it many times. It came out at the right time and for certain generations at the right age, and it just
Yeah, it blew my mind. I
Yeah,
was
it-
11.
me too. Yeah.
It was, but the thing is everyone who was 11 and saw Phantom Menace, they get a pass.
But see, no.
But
Here's
there are-
Why not?
No, because I think that if me, as a kid, if you show a kid Star Wars now and he's never seen anything before that, and you show him the first Star Wars, that kid will go, oh my God. Unless, showing him with, the kind of janky special effects. They hadn't done at least a cleanup of the effects. That a kid now watching that movie, I think it's got a beginning, middle, and end. It's still got the best characters out of the whole series.
and it wasn't intended to be a series of films at that point.
Exactly.
I mean,
Real chemistry, real action, real
Yes.
adventure, and a sweep. It's got a storytelling sweep that
Yes.
every other Star Wars film pretty much lacks.
but a breeziness.
Why do I
to
feel
it,
like
too,
you guys have
you know?
covered this? It's almost like watching
No.
square dancing.
No. We still have yet to do our dedicated Star Wars show.
True.
But
Okay.
this is
But there was a lot of levels here that have not been
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
discussed before.
And the thing about Star Wars is what I would hope for the future of Star Wars is that people don't canonize. I mean, they are making so many new Star Wars right now that that some of it's going to be good and some of it's not going to be good, and I'm okay with that.
Actually, they have Disney, who owns it. they have put the brakes on a bunch of things. One of the Solo is what did it, I think.
Solo didn't do well.
No, Solo did. I mean, it
did fine.
The funny thing, it did okay.
Underperformed what they thought.
Based on what you
300 million.
what you expected a Star Wars film to do, it didn't do as well. And there were plans to do all these other things,
But aren't they doing 2 separate TV series?
Yeah,
now?
one is the Favreau.
Right.
Which is
And the other is
the
guy-
Game of Thrones.
The other's the Gang of
Now
Thrones.
that I'm interested in.
Game of Thrones guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yes,
Game of
the
Thrones guys are going to do a Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, see, and getting different people, like, it doesn't have to be the same.
It's right. It's the universe. that- that they
60-year-old
can-
dudes
Right. No,
directing
it should-
every single thing.
Sure.
But
Yes,
mix it
yes,
up, my
yes.
friends.
Or
Are
J.J.
you guys
Abrams.
reading? Are you
Yeah.
guys reading any of the Star Wars
Reading?
titles,
No,
comics?
I don't. I'm not that big of a Star Wars guy.
There's pictures.
Okay, I'm back.
I love
I'm back.
pictures.
You're back. It's called Dr. Afra, and it's about.
Okay.
It's essentially.
All right,
it's
you have to
about,
leave now.
It's like Dr.
That's not a real
Okay.
thing. That's not a real thing.
Okay, do you know Dr. Afra is essentially in the Star Wars universe if you followed Belloc from
Right. Okay.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And she is freaking hilarious.
What else, like
She's-
what timeline does
Yeah,
it take
yeah, what
place
is
in?
It
Is
takes
like-
place right after 4, like everything should.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
And so Darth Vader keeps running into him and not being killed, and it is hilarious.
This sounds good.
She's wonderful, and what she is she's an archaeologist but she only wants to sell the stuff. So
Okay.
she's looking for Jedi archaeology. And which is why she keeps running into Vader and the Emperor, because they're gathering all the Jedi stuff
Right.
from around the universe. And
And what is this called again?
Dr. Afra,
Afra.
Aphra.
Okay.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
a P
Dr.
in there.
Afra.
Yeah, Dr. Afra.
okay.
And she is without morals. She is almost entirely unlikable.
Who does this comic?
I forget. Oh,
What's
who
the
wrote
publishing,
it?
company?
Oh, it's Marvel.
Marvel. Okay.
Because it's owned by Disney.
Yeah.
So is
okay,
it? But
there you
when
go.
you say it's kind of hilarious, is it like more just it's
darkly funny.
darkly funny.
Yeah,
purposely.
darkly funny. And because the droids in it are essentially it's BT and triple zero. They're just like C-3PO and
R2.
and R2D2, but they're evil.
I like
All
this.
they want to do is murder people. They were programmed and they're Modocs. I mean, they're awesome.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Modocs. That's
They're-
great.
They are delightful.
Okay.
I'm interested in this. I like
and
this.
really dark.
Right, and was it Dan Slaughter wrote the first one or Mark Wade? I mean, it's like
All good
really
people?
all good people.
Either of those people would be completely fine with
right.
me.
Apparently, Timothy Zahn wrote a bunch of the fiction, and his are among, from what I've heard, the best of the Star Wars fiction.
Well,
the paperbacks,
Well,
the novels.
these are comics,
Right.
and Dr. Afra's doing okay, but a lot of the hardcore. What I would hope is that here's what I would hope when it comes to Star Wars is that hardcore Star Wars nerds won't throw away the baby. With
This
the
is your
bathwater.
resolution for
This
them.
is my resolution
right.
for them is that they open their eyes to the fact that because there's so much content, and you said that they're putting the brakes on some
Yeah,
of it.
they did.
But because there's so much content, there's good content in there. Like
Yeah.
the Lando
Right.
series was good.
Yeah.
The Leia series was good in the comics.
There was talk of doing a Boba Fett series.
Yep.
Which I think would have been really cool because a lot of us were pissed off. We thought this was such a great character, and we always wanted that big. We never got that big, cool, climactic.
He is, without a
death
doubt, hands down the worst character in Star
I don't.
Wars.
I don't,
No,
I don't care
Most
about
overrated.
him. I've
No,
never.
He doesn't do
Is he
anything.
the Shawshank Redemption of Star Wars?
I wouldn't say worse. I said the most underused.
That's what I
he has the
think.
potential to be a great
What he
character.
does? What's his potential?
Hey,
No. What's his potential? All he does is take a frozen Han Solo from one place to another. He's a truck driver.
No,
He's
no,
not
oh
even-
no, oh no, that's
he's
where you're
not even
wrong.
he's barely a mercenary.
No. See, this is where we're wrong. First of all, okay, Mister, I know everything about Star Wars. Let me just tell you
Now,
something. So
look,
do you
if you're gonna
remember?
call me
listen,
a
do
name, you have to
remember-
call me Mr. Star Wars.
Okay. Do you remember when in Empire, when Darth Vader calls all the bounty hunters together? You know, we got IG-88
Yeah.
and Boss the Lizard Guy.
And the only reason you know those names is because of the damn action figures and
That's
not because
right.
of the
That's
That's
which
true.
which
That's
I
true.
have and I own and I love and I appreciate.
IG-88.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to
Someone's
be in the
like,
Star Wars universe.
See, you know why?
How effective could he be?
Okay, you guys say that because you guys haven't seen it. They haven't created the
He can barely move his
IG-88
arms.
movies.
He can't move his
No,
arms.
how
up
do you
and down.
know?
He's
No,
like-
you haven't seen it. No, it would have been
All right.
great.
There is hope for you.
No,
There's
no,
hope
getting
for
back
you
to
that they
you.
could
No,
write
I'm
these
getting back to
stories.
Matt's
All right,
point.
okay,
Matt
tell me all
brings up
about
a point.
Boba
Okay.
Fett and how great he is.
Darth Vader makes this announcement to all the great bounty hunters, all the great. It's like
We've
it's
seen
like,
it supposedly.
No, it's like hey, here in the United States, we're gonna look for El Chapo. Let's bring all the all the bounty hunters. You get Dog the bounty hunter coming over from Hawaii or
Dog
something.
the bounty
No,
hunter
but my
and El Chapo.
point is, Boba Fett is like Dog the bounty hunter. He's had a successful run, so he comes because he's a successful bounty hunter.
They haven't. They don't even imply it in the
No,
movie.
yes, they do. They do. What you
Where?
think he puts up a post and just some clowns walking by in the Death Star area go, oh, look at this notice. Hey, let me come on in.
All right,
and-
so we're assuming that by reputation,
Well, yeah,
Yes.
Darth Vader brings these guys.
that are supposed to be top-notch
They're
bounty
supposed
hunters.
to be top
You
notch.
certainly could do any earlier existing stories
Yes!
following those bounty
Yes!
hunters. It could be cool. I mean,
It
you
could
could
be
take any
cool.
bounty
It
hunter
could be
character and
totally
make a cool
cool.
story out
Think
of it.
about it. Can you imagine if you had this whole Star Wars bounty hunter universe and you had Bosk, the reptilian guy, and
Yeah,
Boba
I like
Fett,
that
and then you
idea.
have IG-88 where you'd be able to see his freaking arms move, Sean, and he could do all kinds of cool things, like
wow.
little
Let me
turn him down a little
spokes
bit.
can come out of
can
his
make
arms
tea
and stuff.
and make
No, make tea. Oh no! He could have little guns
he just
popping
looks so-
out of
he
all
seems
parts
so-
of
If we're
him.
going to talk
Hold on.
about Star
seems so
Wars,
Okay, wait a minute.
flimsy to me.
Except
I'm going to tell you, I've brought some toys. Andy mostly collects them. I only have 2. I've collected 2 so far. They are Hot Wheels. Andy collects. He has almost all of
your
them.
significant other.
My significant other.
Or under.
I like that
I don't know if you guys know this. I'm a top.
I want to read your slash fiction.
If you're making slash fiction out there, please do not link me. Here's the thing. Have you guys heard of Hot Wheels character
We've
cars?
heard of Hot
Oh
Wheels,
yes.
Have you heard
Character
of
cars.
the character cars?
Yes, I
character
do.
cars
Yes.
where they kind of give them their own little paint job to make them reflect the character.
right.
Whether
No.
it be
No?
No.
All right. I'll
But
leave.
sort of. But here's the thing: a character car is different from a paint job because those cars exist as well. The
Okay.
character car line is exactly a line of cars where it's not the car that Batman would drive.
Right.
It's if Batman were a car.
All right.
Okay.
I follow you.
I don't
My
think
mind
I know
is
about
blown.
these.
This is if Luke Skywalker were a car.
Okay.
Hey.
I'll be taking photos of these people. So
And I know this is
This
great
is
for
if
our show.
Batman-
Just describe. It's really cool.
Wait, that's a
because-
Black Widow, actually.
Because
Black
it's
Widow.
it-
These are
it-
nice.
It has the same kind of color of like his helmet when he's
Yeah, it
in
reflects
X-Wing.
the
Oh,
X-wing
weird.
pilot
I didn't know
motif.
that.
Here's Thor. The
Ooh.
grill
Okay.
is his hammer,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
and he's got that.
So it's kind of like Death Race 2000 meets Hot Toys.
Yeah, these are
meets
more
Star Wars.
These are
Who's that?
Loki.
Oh, that's
Loki.
That's my favorite one so
That's
far.
cool.
Yeah.
Right,
Wow,
and
I didn't
they're
know about
Of course,
these.
but it's impractical because he's got these giant horns.
here's
Well,
Han
it's not
Solo
street legal.
in carbonite.
Carbonite.
oh, now isn't that funny?
That's
That
bizarre.
that's now my second favorite. Because
Is
how
there
does he
a-
drive it?
Is there a,
He doesn't drive it. He's the car.
is there a Night of the
self-driving.
Lepus car?
Here's a young Han Solo.
Strange.
Here's Superman.
Oh,
yeah.
a little on the nose,
the
but
back,
that's fine.
The back of it is shaped like his cape.
Here's Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Ooh,
Oh, that's
sexy.
nice.
That's
Chassis
sexy.
on that
Because
one.
of the invisible
The
plane.
front is like it's
Why?
invisible.
Peekaboo canopy.
And here's Batman.
Hey,
and then the
wow.
one in my pocket is
that you were.
This
is
is the one
Bugs
you were
Bunny.
hold. What? No.
It's gray.
it's gray. It's look at it, the grill,
Oh,
Okay,
it's
all
got
right,
a little
all
pink
right.
nose.
We'll have to take photos.
and
of
there's
this. Okay.
the tail.
little
And these are
whisper
Hot
things.
Wheels.
These are Hot Wheels.
Strange.
Wow,
There's his bunny ears.
Isn't it great that Hot Wheels is
His
still
carrots.
around and they're
Oh,
still
the
making
carrots.
great
Oh, the
cars.
carrots are a nice touch.
Interesting.
I like
I
that.
I mean, literally, they can be so smart. They don't nail it with all of them. Here's my hope for next year with character
Okay.
cars in Hot Wheels
Okay.
is they make a Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because here they made a Vision. Scarlet Witch is in 3 movies.
Yeah.
Vision is in 3 movies.
She's getting a show, isn't she?
No,
She is?
Scarlet Witch is not getting a show.
She's
is
not
she?
getting a show.
Black Widow got a movie.
Back,
that
okay.
She did?
that Black Widow supposedly has a movie, and but it's I don't know they picked an author, but they picked a writer.
She already got a car. How much more does she need?
She needs her own movie.
I would see that movie.
Oh, I mean,
I think she's awesome.
I love Black Widow. That's one of my favorite
Right.
characters.
This is but look at she's got the widow suit right
Yes.
there in the top of
Those
her
are
car.
cool. I
They're
like
really
those.
they're cool cars.
See, these make a lot more sense than some of the ones they used to do. I don't know if it was Hot Wheels or Matchbox, but there used to be like superhero cars, like Spider-Man.
Yeah, like he would drive in a car.
Right. He doesn't even need a car. Like
It's the equivalent of like the Halloween costumes that would have
Right.
a
Yeah,
picture
exactly.
of Spider-Man on your chest.
There's no Superman would
Spider-Man
not
did have a car, by the way.
car.
right. Superman doesn't need a car.
in the Japanese
Spider-Man did
Spider-Man.
have no.
You know,
in the comics,
in the Spider-Verse.
But
I haven't
before
seen the
that,
Spider-Verse.
No, and that's where they got
the
it.
Ross Andrew line of back
yeah?
in the 70s, he had it was like a dune buggy. And he had
like
it
a
for a
souped
while.
up thing that did special things like the Batmobile?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember it being too souped up.
Was it painted like the costume?
It was.
It was.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
Oh, wow.
I remember there was like a Hot Wheels Joker-mobile, and it had the Joker plastered on the side. Why would the Joker advertise that he's driving around in this
Well, the
car?
best was that the Mego figures, they had like a Joker mobile. It was a Volkswagen van for some
Yeah.
reason.
Right. But see, I would argue that of all the Batman villains, that the Joker would be the one who would put his name on the
That's
set.
true.
That's true,
Yeah.
The Riddler car is pretty cool. Andy's got hundreds of these.
Yeah?
yeah.
Wait,
Now
are the
what-
same ones? Or-
No,
no.
They're all different. Like that's why there should be a Scarlet Witch one, is because almost every other character is represented.
Yeah, no, you need all of them.
Like
You need
weird, obscure characters.
Now, what
Is there a Daffy car?
Yeah. Oh, the Daffy car is really cool. It's because the hood is swooped like the Daffy is Bill.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's the Looney Tune ones are really good. There's Star Wars ones. There's DC and Marvel, and then there's
interesting.
there's like Despicable Me.
I hate the ones where it's like, and there was a wave of those for a while, and that was just, I think they were just saving money, where they just take like a Buick and they'd paint it with a bunch of colors that looked like Batman, or they put Batman's face on the side.
Right. He has some of those too, like from when he first started.
Yeah. But it's nice to see that
That's
they kind
awesome.
of caught up.
They did, and they have a nice heft to them and a good roll. Like I have a Captain Marvel one too, the new Captain Marvel.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
hers
that's
is
pretty
great
cool.
too. And
Hot Wheels were always solid when it came to ride.
And what do you? I mean, literally, a regular Hot Wheel is still $1.09.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
They were 99 cents when we were kids, and now they're $1.09. These character cars, are $3.99, and they become collectible almost immediately. So the rare ones end up on Etsy and eBay for like $15.
Wow, interesting.
So
Okay.
Etsy? No, just eBay.
If someone knitted their own Hot Wheel, that would be on Etsy.
Exactly.
All right, so we've got a nice start when it comes to
That's
resolutions. We've covered a lot of territory. Anybody else got one that they'd like to
Just to
throw into the...
just to finish off the thought.
Okay.
The thought was.
Must you?
Yeah, no, the resolution was to keep an open mind for the next ones that come rolling.
Oh,
our
right.
way.
For Star Wars. Yeah.
and
I mean,
I'll see all of them. I really will.
I think it was one of our previous guests. I think it was Scott Mance pointed out, which is true. Which other people have said this too. When you look at all of the Star Wars movies, the percentage of really great, genuinely awesome movies is small compared to all the rest of them.
I couldn't argue with that.
I think I said that before,
I
Scott
agree.
Mance.
Yeah, no, sure. But
I
I
thought we were
still,
friends, Sean.
but I still like all. I still like the universe. I still like many of the movies, and I still want to see more things in that universe. You know
I'll
what I mean?
keep trying.
I think a lot of diehard Star Wars fans who are keeping track of the animated shows would probably tell you that shows like Star Wars Rebels are doing.
I've seen a couple episodes of Star Wars Rebels, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I've
actually
seen
good.
the first 3 seasons of Star Wars Rebels.
It's
amazing.
good. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I miss Clone Wars, and it's not on anything.
Clone Wars, I heard.
Clone
was
Wars,
great.
I've seen
And
too.
Clone Wars were supposed to be
Several.
as good, if not better,
Yeah.
because it was so surprising.
And again,
so I
that's,
think people like
that's
it.
what I mean. That's what George Lucas, whatever you want to say, what he's done with the franchise later on. He at least created this universe that has allowed so many different creative people to play in the sandbox and create cool stuff. And I think it's going to live on.
We've plugged Star Wars
I know,
long enough.
I know, but still,
Let's
I
not
think,
put any more
but
money
it's
in
not
our
going
pocket.
away in 2019.
It's Gillen. Kieran Gillen started Dr. Aphra.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
I'm there. I'll check it out.
That sounds good.
It's
How about you, James?
Wow. Well,
What do you got?
Yeah, I'm so sick of you and your opinions. Piss me off with one more of them.
sometimes you always think, all right, when I finally have the time, I'm going to do this. And every year I think, okay, well, maybe this year will be the year I finally get to do this. And maybe it's not that exciting and maybe it's not life-changing. But what I want to do is watch from the beginning, from the 1954 Godzilla. Every Godzilla movie and Gamera movie and every Japanese giant monster movie in order.
Wow.
But not just to watch them. I want to actually
Get a log line. What's happening?
what I want to do.
To be them.
What I'm fascinated by is that there seems to be this kind of random element of, all right, Godzilla took place in Tokyo. And then like Godzilla versus Biollante, some of it took place in Osaka. Right. And King Kong versus Godzilla took place in Osaka, and Godzilla versus Space Godzilla took place in, I think, Sapporo. So
That's a beer.
Yeah.
Good one, too.
So what I'm interested in is kind of the geography, and that it is random. And I want to kind of keep track of all the different locations that each of these movies, Godzilla and Gamera, take place in. And maybe I might even like write a little book about it or something. Not just.
So you want to do the geography?
Yes.
Of. Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah. Kaiju
I think there's a market for that.
Well, I do. I'd buy it
Because there'd be a tour.
Yeah.
There would also then be a tour of what was used in those movies.
Locations.
Isn't there already kind of a little...
Yeah, a fan actually, I think his name was Armin Vacher, actually did a magazine about that. And it's cool because he's got pictures of what they look like in the movie versus what they look like now. My thing isn't that I want to visit those locations necessarily, even though I want to visit all of Japan and all different cities. I'm just interested in, okay, for some reason, Godzilla destroyed this one city in this one movie. Why? And... what was that about, and why did he end up in a different city in a different movie? And it is largely random, but I think that there's some.
You want to know about what movers did he use? How did he get there? Did he take the subway?
Well, James, as far as you know, though, I mean, were there any fictional cities or towns in any of these? Was it always an actual, real Japanese location?
Yeah, it was never anything like, it takes place in Chikatsuku.
Well, there's
Yeah,
like
like-
Seatopia in Megalon.
Well,
right?
yeah,
You know,
the
things
more
like
the
that.
No,
fantasy
Seatopia
lands.
is real.
But I mean, like, as far as the cities, I wonder were they always actual locations?
Most of them were, and I find that fascinating. And then there's the whole, sort of fan fiction backstory.
How many
of
movies are we talking about here? Just quick question.
Well, he's not only talking about, to follow your original idea here, it's not just Godzilla.
Not just the Godzilla, which
It's
are over 30.
you said every kaiju film.
Yeah. I love the fact that in Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2 from the 90s, there's a shot of Rodan flying over Tokyo Disneyland. And that's just one shot, but I love that they did that. I love that in Gamera versus, I don't remember the monster's name, but...
IG-88.
I know, Demon Booze. It takes place...
Mr. Kaiju.
It takes place in Osaka while they're preparing the World's Fair Expo 70 in Osaka. And I love
You
that.
remember the fair.
Gyron. Gamera versus Gyron.
There we
Okay,
go.
thank you.
He's back.
I hope I'm right. and I know there's some listeners that will quickly correct me on this.
That'll be their New Year's resolution.
Wait,
to correct you.
Isn't it Jiger?
Jiger, thank you.
Jiger.
Gamera versus Monster X.
Demon Booze,
Oh, it
Demon
took
Booze.
Sean.
Well,
It took
Because I'm
Sean.
always right.
Yes, that's true. Anyway, I love that
You're going to
these
write a
little-
book.
Well, you ever see-
Unbelievable.
Look. In fairness, James, it's not
fairness?
like yes. In fairness,
You guys are friends, right?
you can't. No. It's like because man, you're like jumping on him when he's down like a whole thick glass of vodka, and it's like when he's doing his book, he's gonna do all this research.
Oh, he's not going to drink when he's writing.
No. So get off your you're gonna write a book shit. I mean, come on.
If I knew everything, like Sean happens to, then there'd be no point in my writing the book because I'd already know. This way I learn and I absorb. See? And
I just see a wasted James Gonis, just drunk as a skunk, just over some maps of Japan.
Yes.
And then he makes landfall at a soccer.
And I want to remind you,
not gonna write it
Shawn
sober.
Sheridan doesn't know everything. There were times when he was incorrect
he's
about
rough
something.
sometimes. He's
So look,
one or two moments.
we
once in a blue
we
moon.
all help each other.
Yes,
You know.
yes.
That's why you guys are a team.
Yes.
You know what this is? This is a party.
That's
Yes,
right.
that's right. You're right.
That's right.
Exactly.
So how many movies is that, though? If there's 30 Godzilla movies.
I think we're talking like 40, 50
Yeah,
movies.
50 or
40.
60.
No, it's not
Every
40.
kaiju.
It's not.
He said
talking
every
about-
kaiju.
I know.
Not just
Guy
Toad.
Lala.
Godzilla, it's over 30.
Yeah, so
but
like
it's like
Gappa,
Gappa, sure.
War of the
Yongari.
Gargantuas.
Yongari.
Yog.
Right.
Yog.
Yog.
Yeah, God.
Space
Island,
Amoeba.
but yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Varan, the unbelievable.
Varan. He's unbelievable.
Yeah. And
You know,
Varan-
when you look at Varan, you just go, I can't believe that. Get a load of that.
Well, that's an interesting thing.
cool.
So this is
it's
something
like-
this is something that you
I would look
hope-
forward to doing if I have the time to do it. I have to take the time. That's my resolution. And it's a great excuse to revisit all those movies.
I would read this. I would. I'm serious.
I'll give you a free copy.
Yeah, it's cool.
Thank you, James.
Would you sign
Are
it?
you going to do it chronologically?
Oh, yeah.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah, yeah,
The first
yeah.
thing to do then would be to make the list.
Sure.
Oh, he's got that.
I mean, even
He's
just
got that already.
watching
Okay,
all of them would
now-
be a good challenge
now-
too.
Yeah,
Just
And
to
now
watch
that
them.
you
they're
got
on
the
Blu-ray
list?
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not to put you on the spot. But
To put you on the spot.
Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster.
Yeah.
It takes place in doesn't
Japan.
Well, you know, that's another thing. Some of these movies take place in unknown cities. It's just sort of
I thought
vague
it was
and they're
Yokohama because it was very industrial.
it's industrial. And then there's I think the shots of Mount Fuji in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like you've already seen them. What's happening? you just want to take like notes or something?
Yeah,
or-
exactly.
Okay.
I want to really watch them.
You know, it's funny because you bring up something I love. One of my favorites is Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster, and I love that film so much because it's the first Godzilla film where within the first few minutes you see that there are actual Godzilla toys, and that changed my life when I was a kid when I saw it for the first time. But part
never
of me
heard this
said,
story.
"Oh my gosh, I want to go where the Smog Monster was first discovered." Then on the flip side, it's like, wait a minute, it's got to be the most polluted place on the planet. Why?
That's right. Yeah.
Why would you want to go there?
It's a depressing place.
But I think it's cleaned up a lot.
Oh, hopefully.
So that means a cleaner smog monster.
Which will not be as effective. though.
Godzilla versus the recycled monster.
Okay, well, it's funny that you should bring that up, sir, because what I will say is
Finally.
the Smog Monster, we never see the Smog Monster after Smog Monster.
that's
He doesn't
true.
come back.
That's true.
He is.
Doesn't he make an appearance in
Final
Oh
Wars.
yeah,
Final
but
Wars.
that's, would that
Yeah.
is that?
Like a
that's
ca-
not really
it's more of a
canon,
cameo.
is it? Right? I mean,
Well, no, it's a cameo. It's
a
the
cameo.
It's Hedorah.
Yeah.
He shows up.
Doesn't he show up in Australia or something? It's like
Yeah, I
in
can't
some
remember,
weird,
but he makes
yeah.
an appearance though.
Hedorah gets around.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Are these
well-
guys? Will you also watch Heat Miser?
Oh, we love that
Miser?
stuff. We love that
We
stuff.
also okay. Just
Yeah,
put them in the middle of the
Sure.
canon.
No, because that has nothing to do with kaiju, Jackie.
All right, Sean. What's
Okay,
your
so
beef?
well, I have some.
Is it a beef?
Well, I think
It's not so much a beef.
In general,
Your new fears resolution.
My new fears resolution is to just work more regularly. That's
That's a good one.
You're
No.
already making this too real.
but here's a new fears resolution I would like to have for somebody else, and that is for the people who run Comic-Con.
Okay.
I would like somehow they got. I don't have the answers, but somehow they got to figure out a way to make hotels easier to get. When
Infinity
Comic-
Gauntlet.
Yeah, that may be the only way. That's
right.
I mean,
Third of
No.
it's so
Third of the universe gone.
Yeah.
Imagine the hotel rooms.
Monster Party was pretty much born out of a Comic-Con hotel room.
Yes.
But over the years,
Make it sound so
with
seedy.
every year, it becomes harder and harder to get hotels. I mean, it's a crapshoot. Like you have to do it months and months in advance, and you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, that's why I don't go anymore.
It's so complicated.
You
and it's
can
so
get-
stressful.
You can get a hotel room. It's just how
just gotta-
good that hotel room
Right,
is and
right.
how far away from the con it is.
Right.
Actually, you can get a hotel room, and it depends on how much money you're willing to pay. The thing that
True.
irritates me the most, not just a little side note.
Sure.
It's so what the hotels used to do. It's like, oh my gosh, this is when this convention comes to town. This is great. We'll fill up our hotels. And so we'll give these discounts because it's better for us to fill up the hotel. But what they've learned is, wait a minute, why are we giving all these discounts when there are tons of people? So what they do is, I think slowly but surely, they went from, instead of giving discounts on every room, then it went to just half the rooms.
Right.
Then to a quarter of the room. So when Comic-Con says, hey, we've got, discount, rooms at, let's say, the Hyatt Regency. Oh, you're thinking, oh, great. Well, you try to book it, right off the bat, and it's like, oh, no, it fills up right away. However, if you go to the Hyatt Regency, let's say it's several months in advance, and you just call them up and say, hi, I'm going to stay there for the weekend, and you pay full price, you can get a hotel room.
It's weird that they offer any discounts at all.
Well,
Is it because of
tradition
it's a
or
hookup with the
some
con?
sort of promotional thing?
Yeah, but I just think that it's like I say, it's like this kind of like lottery thing, or like where you have to you're into this
But you
waiting
just found
room,
out.
and
You just found out how to do it.
but
that means you're paying a lot.
crazy, and it's already even
But
the discounted prices through
how
Comic-Con
much-
are still a lot. If
Is it more than $200 a night?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
And the funny thing is, you say, why is it? It's a seasonal price. Like when they're off season, let's say after spring break, okay,
after Comic-Con.
Well, no, because that's still the
'Cause I think
summer.
their-
The summer's like
but their season is
San Diego,
Yeah.
San
That's
Diego
the time
in the
to book.
summer, and they have their Fleet Week and Comic-Con, and there's a whole bunch of things that happen, and it's like they up the ante. You have to pay
Yeah,
more
they do.
money
Because
for the
demand is so high.
And I know that like some of you guys will stay at like a hotel farther away and save money. That's
He
true.
goes like, you guys. He's always because he'll shell out the money to be right across the street from the con.
Yes,
He's
because,
been
you know why
fortunate,
though?
too.
You know why though? Because it's one fucking weekend a year. So I'm going to splurge on that one weekend.
It's the
at
thing you do,
Comic-Con.
right? That's your
yes,
thing.
I'm going to splurge.
He brings up a good point,
My
man.
wife and I like to go. There's nothing better than walking across the street to the convention.
Well, and you guys
And
always
can
get those
crash the
hotels,
hotel.
too.
There's nothing better than that. Of course, no way would I do that in any other circumstance.
Why are you so angry
What-
about it?
I'm
Then?
just saying, once a year, I'm going to go all out, and I will get.
No, treat yourself right.
Yeah.
It's the thing you do.
But it's so stressful too because you don't know if you're going to get it. Like, I mean, we've been lucky like year after year, but like it's just so difficult. And like I just wish I could find a better way to do it.
See, I'm the opposite from you because even though it's a little bit of a hassle to get on a shuttle and go to a hotel that's a little farther away from the con, I prefer that because that neighborhood, that gas lamp area of San Diego, I despise. I hate it.
Really?
I hate it.
It was created by douchebags for douchebags.
It's douchebag world. It's
Well,
douchebag
I'm
land.
not talking about the neighbor. I'm just talking about the hotel.
But
back in the
Convenient.
days,
The hotel itself, that's fine.
when
Yeah.
San Diego was just these docks where big sailors got off their boats, and they had
the armies of Popeyes.
No, you guys.
Arr, where are you from?
They
The
had-
sea.
They had the whorehouse.
Where can
down
we
the
find a
street,
hooker?
Yeah, well, and so
Well, yeah,
there are
it's definitely
elements-
changed. I mean, no,
they
you're right.
cleaned it up a bit, but
Gaslamp District definitely has become.
But see, that's why I like to get on a shuttle and go maybe 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's nice. You got a nice calm area with a view of the ocean.
Oh,
or
right. It's not
something.
screaming. It's not screaming
Right,
really
it's
loud.
not. It's
Yeah.
yeah. It's not someone
That's why I
puking
go
right
to-
outside your
to me,
window.
the last
if you get, like,
convention-
the Marriott, you get a nice high room, and you can just sit and watch out over everything.
madness.
And you're,
Yeah.
No, but you're at a distance and a height, and you're observing.
Yeah.
Oh, you're still part of that vibe without
Very Marie
you know,
Antoinette.
Yeah,
Good
I
for
think
you.
it's- I
Good
think
for
it's
you.
awesome. So.
No, if
Oh, yeah.
I could stay closer, I'd definitely choose to stay closer. But there have been some virtues to staying a little further away. Like Matt said, it's a little quieter. You get a little different atmosphere. The last place I stayed was maybe half an hour from the convention
Wow,
center. It
so
was
just-
way the
Yeah,
fuck
it's
out
like,
there.
okay, that's too
barbaric.
much. That's too
But
much.
there was an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet right there. It's like, hey, awesome.
What do you
there you
guys
go.
do at Comic-Con? Do you stand in line for hours and then go? No. Thank God. Thank God. because
Never.
No,
There
never.
are people who like they literally camp out the night before to go to a 1 hour panel.
It
Yeah.
didn't. It didn't used, look, it didn't used to be that.
exactly.
Yeah, no.
So do you
we
go to
we
the
party,
dealer room?
We eat and drink and party and
You
buy
go to the
shit.
dealer room, yes,
And that's it.
And do
so it's just
and
a
do
giant
podcasts.
around
Right.
Yeah.
You walk around and get to see people
and see people, and then they're also
the cosplay's
smaller.
amazing.
The cosplay's amazing. You don't have to go to the masquerade because people are walking all over the place. So
Right.
you don't
Right.
need to do that
Right.
because that's also like a day's wait.
Absolutely, yeah, it's ridiculous.
But there are smaller panels. Like we
That's
have
true.
our friend Josh Gilliland, who has this podcast, The Legal Geeks.
Right,
Legal
that's right.
Geeks.
He has a panel there, and these days he's got panels at almost every
I know,
convention.
I know. He's
And his
the panel
podcast is
master.
the legal ramifications of whatever situation in, say, Star Wars or the Marvel universe.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's a
It's cool.
lawyer, and he
Okay.
knows, and he invites other lawyers
Like
and
he has
judges.
copyright and IP lawyer.
No.
More
It's
like,
like
let's say,
fictional situations that involve legal matters with fictional characters.
He's an
how
actual
does
law.
the Punisher?
He's an actual lawyer.
If the Punisher were captured, how would he be prosecuted? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he would work with She-Hulk. I get it.
Or
All right.
can the descendants of people from Alderaan, can they sue the Empire for destroying
That kind
the
of
planet?
thing. Yeah.
Right,
And it's
right.
really, and they're
great.
They're great panels. He's great.
I got a suggestion for him because
Yeah?
the legal
Go.
rights of clones.
They
I think
actually talked about that.
That'd be a great
Oh
episode.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Oh yeah, you got
So-
another one? You got another one?
No,
Go
that's
ahead.
it.
Come on.
That's it.
Oh,
No, I just brought
Yeah.
the one Hot Wheel and then that topic. I just have the two things.
But yes, but you're right. There are smaller panels.
And so
because-
yeah, you can have a great time. You don't have to do all that stuff.
Yeah,
like
because-
all those panels too. It's like just wait a day and watch it on YouTube.
That's true.
You're
Yeah,
fine,
that's true.
You know.
Well, I'd like that all four of you said, no, we're not staying. Because you spend the whole day there's only 4 days of it.
exactly.
You want to get
So
the most out of that.
If you live, I understand if you flew all this way from your little, 100-person town and wherever, and you come to San Diego and you want to meet, the cast of the Vampire Diaries, and
Yes.
this is your life.
Yes,
Right,
that's
right.
another
Then
thing. That's one
I
thing.
get it.
And
I
that's
understand.
valid.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Now
I think
can
we've
understand.
all been there.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
if the Vampire Diaries folks are all going to be at a panel, and that is the
That's
thing
your
you live
favorite
for,
show.
then I can
It's a special
understand.
thing.
I can understand. And if, like Matt said, from a town of like 100, or even if it's 1,000 people or whatever,
Sure, but you're not going to get Comic-Con's not coming to you. Let's
No.
just say.
Right. Well,
Right.
when I moved to Los Angeles, I saw William Shatner on the street, and I followed
Really?
him.
Wow.
Wow, how'd that go over?
I stopped following him after about a block and a half.
Did
'cause
he
I was
notice
like,
you?
oh, I thought you were about an hour and a half.
No,
He's walking a long way.
it was
As you're standing
it
in his
only took me
pantry.
like a block and a half to realize that I was creeping myself out. But I was like, I had just moved. He was and I was like,
Sure.
Sure, yeah.
Did you Star Trek?
The first sign of dealing with a problem is knowing you have a problem.
All right.
And so it's fine. And then last year actually I got to meet Mark Hamill, which was and I got
awesome.
a picture taken with him.
Oh, nice.
And it's not a good picture of me, but I don't care because I'm standing next to Mark Hamill and
that's
I got
awesome.
my picture taken.
I hear he's nice.
He was incredibly nice.
yeah.
And like I said, and I was backstage, like we were doing a benefit, and I said, I am sorry to be this person backstage, but I would need a picture with. And he was like, "Of course you do." Yes.
See,
He was like he
That's
knew
great.
exactly where he was. I mean,
That's
right.
And then he was incredibly sweet about it.
Did
so
you ask him to be on your show?
I didn't. Do you know what I did? I left money on the table right there. But, 'cause
with your number.
right, the Dork Forest with I'm just like here's a
$20 with your
there's $20
number.
in it for you, Mark.
The address. There's more where this came from.
Exactly, Van Nuys,
Meaning
free
another 20.
T-shirt, free T-shirt, Mark.
That's fantastic.
You never know.
Dork Forest. He might have done it. So
Yeah. Greg Proops once followed Toshiro Mifune, who was like the big Toho
Yes.
Kurosawa actor.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Samurai.
Giant
Yeah.
actor.
and Proops followed
And follow him and his wife, Jennifer. They
wandering around the earth.
It was in San Francisco. And he was doing something, and they saw him, and they followed him basically to his hotel. Oh my God! He looked behind him and a
Couple
couple
of times.
times, and I think he realized that it was not too. They weren't following him for too long.
Oh, that's good.
So it was, and then he
Proops
went
is
to
a-
his hotel.
But
so.
did
Right.
Mifune acknowledge at the end? Did he turn and he kind of like did a bow or something? I thought he did, and then he went in the
if
hotel,
I remember
like
the
kind of
story
acknowledged,
correctly,
like
something.
Yes,
yeah.
you followed me or something.
Yeah,
you
gave him
know,
something.
yes.
You have honor. You have, oh no, that's Klingon.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because the only giant convention I still go to is Gen Con. The one in Indianapolis, it's a board game convention in
really?
Indianapolis.
Okay.
And it is
All
80
board games.
new board games, old board games, 80,000 people. The thing I love about Gen Con is that it's not like Comic Con. And you guys do Comic Con in a different way that a lot of people do because they do go to see those panels and they stay in line all day.
Right.
Gen Con, it is genuinely 65 to 75,000 people who all just want to play a board game. And so there, you meet new people. It's one of the most interactive. And if you were socially awkward, like a person might be, as I point to myself, it's a great way to meet new people and play a new game. So it's
cool.
Gen Con's amazing. It started out in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, because that's where Gygax is from. And then
What? Who? What?
Gary Gygax, the guy who invented Dungeons and Dragons with his friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And he's-
That makes sense.
Yeah, I just brought Andy to Lake Geneva so that he could see his house, and he's like, "Why isn't this a museum?" And I was like, "Because they're renting it out. It's a rental property." That's
Can you Airbnb that place? That'd
oh,
be
he
cool.
would love to.
That'd be cool.
He was like, "At least a hotel."
I will say that like WonderCon. I
love
enjoy
WonderCon.
because
WonderCon's fun.
WonderCon is kind of like a smaller
It's
Comic Con.
a less intense version.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a little less credible, easier to get into.
Yeah.
And WonderCon is pretty cool.
And then
And
we
you
love
could-
Monster Palooza.
Monster Palooza.
That's probably
is
our
You guys
favorite.
go to Monsterpalooza
made
a
for
lot.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know the funny thing about Comic Con was like the big thing, and everyone has tried. Everyone wants to go to Comic Con, but I think because over the past decade, really, what's happened because it's been so difficult. What's happened, and this is a good thing. All these smaller cons have opened up all across the country. And
Right,
maybe
right.
they don't have maybe the most A-list celebrities. You're not going to get the cast of the Avengers there, but still other people show up. Other celebrities will show up to this. And what's cool is that these other conventions happen all over the place. So people who are as enthusiastic as we are can still experience it without going to
You
Comic-Con.
want to meet the guy who played Biggs? Then, you know.
Right.
I just went to one in. I think it was in San Antonio, and Ahura was there.
Nichelle
Wow,
Nichols.
she's
Wow.
still out there. That's
Yeah,
great.
That's
yeah,
cool.
it was, and she was signing things for money.
She's very nice.
She was. I didn't get to meet her,
Yeah,
but
she's
I
very
stood
friendly.
near her
Yeah.
There's
and
nothing
thought
wrong
about
with
trying to
that.
introduce myself.
Dark Forest. You know, the best thing to do, if I could just throw out something to you, stand in line, pay the $20 or $40, get the signature, and then throw your little thing. Here's my card. That's
It's a
what you
weird,
should-
but see, we've all experienced this.
Sure,
it's
sure.
a weird situation when you're at a convention and you're one of those people, and then you hit them with something different because you just kind of get lost in the sea of
fandom
dorks. Yeah.
and stuff where you're just like, and because people do it to me too at comedy clubs.
Hey,
They'll
do you want to
go
go and do this thing? And
Right. I also
Right.
have this thing that I do, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
Sounds great.
And I try to focus, but I'm in work mode, so I'm in a different.
Right.
So I didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
it's tough.
It's not lucky for them that they've met me in that situation,
ever-
so it can't possibly be lucky for me that I'm meeting those people.
Did we ever tell you about the time that we? Well, there were a couple attempts to try to get John Carpenter on the show.
Yeah.
Are you bringing up the John Carpenter
It's just,
story?
I don't want to beat this horse into the ground, but it was.
But boy,
funny.
wouldn't it be great.
It's funny. It was funny though because
Is he still alive?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
yeah.
he's
But we
doing
went,
amazingly.
There's
Yeah.
been a number of times where he's shown up at Golden Apple Comics.
Yeah.
Because he's doing a comic book
Yeah,
line.
and then his wife also does comics and stuff, and she's lovely, and he was nice too the first couple times I met him, but then now we're I think one of the things is we always try to get these shout outs from people like, hey, I'm whoever, listen to Monster Party, and so Larry and I, we go to, we both have something we're going to get signed,
Yeah.
and we wait in line. And the line's not that long, when we get up
that's
there,
reasonable, yeah.
and so you're allowed to get a picture taken with him, but instead of getting a picture taken, we decide, hey, we'll ask him to do a shout out. And Larry, you got to do it from here.
No, I'm captivated by your
all right,
story.
well,
I mean,
anyway,
what
so Larry goes up there and we get our thing signed, and he goes, "Hey, would you mind doing this thing, and we give him the lines. We go, would you say, I'm John Carpenter, I love Halloween, and I love Monster Party? And at first he goes, you want me to say that now? And we're like, no, we want you to come to our house and we'll make you a sandwich and then you can say it.
I tried to make light of it. It was only going to take a couple seconds. Hey.
So there's a beat where he has this look on his face like, do I murder them or do I say this thing? He decides to say the thing. So there's like a beat and we're filming him and he goes, I'm John Carpenter. I love Halloween and I love Monster Party. And when you see it online on Facebook, we've cut it so it's like you only see him like the minute he finishes saying Monster Party, it's done. But then
filmed it. I started to film the whole experience.
The whole experience. So we've got all of it.
Yeah, when we are
someday
in line,
we'll show it.
When we're in line and when we're in line and we go up, I mean, you hear me say, I take out my poster and I go, and he goes, oh, the thing or whatever, and I go, oh, thank you, sign right here, all this, and we're just going through our emotions, so you can hear everything, you can see it. And so, I just kept filming. So what Matt's describing is, we've captured it all, but we've only shown
the look that he has on his face, though, after he's done saying the blurb that we give him is like, now get out.
See, now the funny thing is, and maybe that's Matt's interpretation. I look at it a little differently. I don't think
it
of it
doesn't make me like him less. I think it was funny.
To me, he seems like it's like, oh, another fan kind of thing. But you know what? We were thrilled he did it, and I was excited about it. Yeah. But
who knows what had been happening to him before we got there?
He had just quit. He had quit smoking. And he'd been smoking. And so, but to get to your point, Matt, I think Matt was saying we understand what you were saying because we've been in that line. We've been in that line before.
Yeah. And that's the great thing when you talk to fans of anything, where you're just like, because people beat themselves up. Just the Dork Forest. They're just like, well, I was kind of a dork at this, and I was like, yeah. All of us, we're all excited that we got to see the person who did the thing that we like so much.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean,
we just wish they were more excited about it.
Right. Sometimes they are not that excited about it because they are humans.
Sometimes they are.
Yeah. Yes.
Sometimes they are.
But we've approached at Monsterpalooza and other conventions, we've approached people we'd like to have on as guests, and it just never works at those conventions because that's not why they're there, to have those types of conversations.
And because they're probably getting approached a lot by similar...
And they're going to say, oh, great, like you said, oh, that sounds interesting. That sounds great. Well, let's exchange information. And then you never hear from them.
Right.
Because out of sight, out of mind. I totally get that.
However, I just want to clarify that some and then some have worked out. Okay.
Which ones worked out?
Do you guys, what
Jeffrey Combs.
Oh,
but Jeffrey Combs, we started that ball rolling way before the convention.
Yeah, but it's like sometimes it just is an introduction, and there's a follow through.
The follow through was good.
Lisa Loring, hello.
But that was through an intermediary, right?
No. Well, but
have you guys thought about setting up your setup at the con and saying, by the way, we're just in that room?
We do that at Monsterpalooza.
Yeah,
and we have a lot of people come by.
Perhaps if you came to the last show, you would have noticed that. But that's okay.
If I would have done some research about
Monsterpalooza is probably not really your scene too much.
Are there a lot of monsters?
It's a lot of horror. It's a lot of
paloozas there.
I'm pro Palooza. Monsters can sometimes be scary. It's my friend Karen Rontowski, who has that paranormal Karen. She's a big ghost person.
Sure, yeah.
And she constantly says, I don't want to bring ghosts up because I know ghosts scare you. And I'm like, nope. No more than dolphins do. Because I often think of dolphins. I believe in possibly both of them. I don't have a problem with. This is actually sentences all convoluted now. But the thing about ghosts is I've never seen a ghost.
Right.
She sees them all the time, and I'm like,
really? Does she really?
I don't know. I mean, she says. I mean,
because it seems like literally everybody and their grandmother can be a ghost hunter now. Can be a paranormal investigator.
Right. She's put some work. She's put a little more work into it. I don't know if that means a certificate or anything, but I mean, but I know that she gives a damn about ghosts, and I don't. So ghosts possibly because I don't care. Like I don't want to swim with dolphins either. It's a weird analogy.
What about ghost dolphins?
That I would watch a Ghost Flipper.
See now,
where's that TV show?
I don't know if you can't really pick this up on the mic, but I've turned white. Like I am the thought of ghost dolphins You know what?
They would save you. They would save you.
You know what? Because you bring up a very interesting point. No. Hear me out. Okay, so we all know that ghosts, they go through the house and go through the walls. If you're a ghost dolphin, you don't have to stay in the water. You can kind of swim through the house
like land
too.
shark.
Oh my God!
Right, because they're mammals.
Land shark.
Do they need?
I've said this when I used to have an act, but seriously,
You said this once.
But seriously, and I'm dead serious about this, which is the thing that gets me about the whole ghost thing is that every time you see a ghost picture or somebody describes a ghost as someone came in and they're wearing old timey clothes, and then where do they get the clothes? Where there's ghost wearing clothes.
Well, no, but it's
that doesn't make any sense,
Isn't that
right?
what they died in?
If they were killed at that moment of
so
their death,
the clothes died too?
they're stuck in
That's their representation
And
of
if
themselves.
If the clothes didn't die, that means they got clothes from a ghost
paranormal store. Yeah,
or
the
paranormal
outlet.
I don't understand any of it. Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
So they should be
like,
naked. So they should all be naked.
Well, no, I could like a ball, like when they describe. They
sometimes
describe
they're
like
just-
balls of light. And
Yeah,
stuff
and
like
mist.
that.
Yeah. Sometimes it's
that
just.
makes more sense to me.
What
but
about
the
just like
person
a
in the
face,
old timey
though?
outfit, like, and so that means
Paul
that
F. Tompkins
like-
is
like-
not a
like
ghost.
on a-
that ghost got up. I pictured him as a ghost now. But
What if they're like on a penny farthing bicycle the whole time, rolling through the
well, because
streets?
then I would give that ghost a little extra for just pageantry. Like you put on a show. But like that, if a ghost has clothes, that means that ghost gets up from its ghost bed in
no,
the
it's not
morning,
like that,
makes
though.
ghost coffee, then puts on its ghost clothes,
brushes
and then
its ghost
I don't
teeth.
know.
Okay, no.
I don't know.
You are
I
so.
think-
It's like there's a snapshot in time.
Yeah.
If you die, if you're
Yeah.
a soldier and you're killed on the battlefield, you're a ghost in your
Yes.
helmet and your uniform.
And guess what, Matt? Guess
You're
what?
stuck
There
until
is
you
no
find-
ghost bed. You don't go to sleep, and there's
Aren't
no
vampires.
ghost coffee. There's no ghost coffee.
You know, I love the
Here,
fact-
let me go
I love-
grab my ghost coffee. Oh boy, what brand should I take? Oh,
ghost
yeah.
clothes are ridiculous. Come on.
No.
Are there
no
ghost
ghost
You're
beds.
saying
beds?
you're
Ghosts
saying a
never
ghost
sleep.
bed is ridiculous.
Yes, it
and
is.
Yet ghost clothes.
No,
that's
that makes
perfectly
total
normal.
sense.
Are there
It
any
makes total
good ghost
sense.
movies besides The Ghost of Mrs. Chicken?
Yes, ghost.
Mr. Chicken, by the way, not Mrs. Chicken.
I said Mr. Chicken, didn't I?
It sounded like Mrs. Chicken, but I want to see that movie too.
Yeah, there's
Well,
The sequel.
Hey, look.
He did get the girl in the end.
Okay,
You
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
spoiler
Sloane
alert.
Staley.
Okay,
Spoiler.
This is great. We're
Can I get to my
There should
resolution?
be more
Yes,
ghosts
that's-
in
I was-
2019.
I was going to get to that. I was going to say this is all great, fine, and dandy, but I'd like to know what Matt's thing is.
You're a good man.
That's what I was going to say.
You're a good man.
You thought I was going to forget about you?
Oh, no.
I haven't.
No, I know you
have
don't
your
forget
name-
about me.
I've written you down right here. It's Matt.
You're making
with,
a list.
with a question mark. You know, it's like when are we going to get to Matt? Oh,
That's just your general thing. You're right. My name and a question mark. Just in his diary, it's just pages of Matt. Why?
this is the new leaf.
All right, so here. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. Okay, so here is my resolution. My resolution is my new fears resolution
I resolve.
is that I resolve to do this, and that is when someone is watching a show, and I've watched the show as well, and I don't like it, and that person says, "Oh no, you got to stick with it because at the 5th episode it gets really good," I am not going to listen to them. That is my new fears resolution. Really?
Okay.
Every time they say that, they are wrong.
okay, but
Wrong.
here's the only
there
thing
we
I would
have
say
it.
that I believe
We've
you've
got a
done,
personal
I believe
issue
you've
here.
done, Matt Weinhold, the same thing to myself though.
To
I
Shawn
know what you're
Sheridan?
talking about.
Oh,
Doctor Who, the latest Doctor Who, which granted, we have only seen the first 2 episodes, and they pretty much sucked.
I told you.
And I know, but I'm
with the
saying you said the
female
exact same
doctor?
thing. You said like, oh, stick with it because it gets better. You pretty much said the same thing.
But this is I'll tell you how that
It's
is
different when Matt says it.
It's different when I say it because I know what I'm talking about. First of all, let me get something straight.
you don't like the female doctor?
no, I do like the female doctor. I don't like the stories
Here-
that she's in so
Look,
far.
Let me get something straight. I'm a complete hypocrite. First of all, everything I say, it's all bullshit. Okay.
What?
Yes. Yes, I'm a complete hypocrite.
That's ridiculous.
All right.
I said it
But
yesterday to somebody.
because
I said
you're
you
my
have
good
to make it to episode
that,
5
that was
of
a month ago.
Discovery.
Will you chime in?
duh.
Say something.
Wait a minute.
Tell him.
Hold on. Wait.
Watch Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. That is a show. That's one of those shows. You know how people will watch anything Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I am a Doctor Who fan.
Yeah.
So I'm the guy like
Oh,
Star
you'll watch
Wars
anything
fan.
Doctor
Right.
Who.
I'm always like, oh, maybe the next one will be good.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
And
Interesting.
I like. Here's the problem with Doctor Who is that I love the new tone of the show. I love the new Doctor. Jodie Whittaker's fantastic.
Yeah, I like her.
My problem with the show is with the writing. And there's a couple episodes when you get to like, I don't know, it's like 4 or 5. Demons of Punjab is, I think, a good episode.
Okay.
There is some good writing in there. There's not a lot of it, I will grant you.
What, kind of like, I mean, the Peter Capaldi season when it first
Up and down,
started,
too.
it took a while for it to get
Yes.
good. I thought. He was always great.
And I am with you. To me, I see the potential there. Part of the problem with Doctor Who is that they're not giving you enough of her story. This is the first time that doctor has been a woman.
Yeah, they're not really.
As far as we know.
Yeah, right.
And you're not getting into her head about how she
yeah,
feels about that.
The ones you've
and-
seen so far, they're rushing through the plot, and it's like too
And
much.
it's just
too many
her running
extraneous
around,
character- Yeah, she's
saying
not like,
her lines.
Like,
But isn't that what Doctor Who is?
No.
no, but it doesn't
Do
have
they
to be.
do they
I mean,
do they
it can get
do a
into
rabbit
the-
hole into what the doctors
yeah,
are like?
yeah.
No,
there's
they explore
a
all
deep,
kinds of
rich-
facets to him.
deep,
yeah,
rich
or her
history,
Now. Yeah.
But,
But,
I agree with you about that.
But there are a lot of shows I think like
Last
that
one I
though,
watched-
these days.
You know
that
what?
Were,
I'm sorry, Sean. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
sorry?
I'm sorry. I did that to you.
You know, it's funny.
Doctor Who?
Look. I don't think we should jump on each other here because it's like when you watch something, we
Why
get
not?
passionate and we say to each other. I've said this to you and sometimes to you, but it's like it's like look, I've watched this. Stick with it. We all do that, and sometimes
I just wish it wasn't the case so much. It just seemed to be like a lot of shows nowadays are like that. I mean, like there's so many shows I haven't watched because there's just so many now.
That's
Netflix
true.
and Prime. It's like, but it seems like there's so much that filmmakers and TV creators are given. It seems they're given more time to show stuff.
To waste our time.
But like one side is good; it's that they're letting this creativity kind of really blow up. But like I think it's episode orders. They're given let's make 10 episodes or 12 episodes out of this when it really shouldn't be that many. I don't know. But
And
like,
Doctor Who, when you think about it, there's kind of no excuse for that because Doctor Who's like what season's 10 episodes
yeah,
or something
right.
like that. So
Right.
they should all be amazing.
Yeah.
Like Black Mirror, every one of those. There are certain ones that I've liked more than others, but
but
they're
pretty
all
much
good.
Pretty much all of them are.
You know-
great. You're right. You're right.
You know, Matt, I wanted to chime in. Do you remember back when Star Trek The Next Generation came out? It was like we were all excited about Star Trek The Next Generation,
Yeah.
and there wasn't a lot of other stuff like
right.
that. And it's like we all watched this. You bring up a really good point. And it's like we stuck with it. There were some episodes that even
I
the
just
first
did a
episode.
podcast.
Hang on. So we watch it and we go, oh, that episode wasn't that great, but we stuck with it because there really wasn't much of anything else.
Right.
Now,
The Planet of Black People.
Oh yeah, that's with Denise Crosby, right?
Where
yeah.
The
Okay.
most racist episode ever. Anyway,
and
look,
just a
look,
bad
give-
one too.
hey, and
It's
just
not
poorly written in
yeah.
addition.
Yes. Okay, but the point is we stuck with it.
Yeah, we
And
did.
Sean brings up a really good point. There's Doctor Who, there's Black Mirror,
There's so much
all
now.
this stuff for people who love the genre like
so
we
much-
do.
there is so
Science
much
fiction, fantasy, and
scripted
horror.
genre
There's so
stuff.
much stuff out there.
It's crazy.
I think that if they don't grab you within those first 3 episodes, it's like we're going. Well, I'm going to sign off because I've got other stuff I want to
True.
watch.
That's
Yeah,
really
I-
true.
I-
There's so
yeah.
much that you don't have enough time in your life to devote to this thing.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
I'll admit that maybe I'm a little less patient these days with shows because I just don't. Yeah,
And
well,
Doctor
because
Who is
everything
my
takes a couple episodes for the characters to
Yeah.
solidify. I think.
yeah. Well, there are some shows where look, I will.
Isn't Black Mirror Monster of the Week though? Does
it's
the
an anthology.
Say anthology, like a Outer Limits or Twilight Zone.
yeah. Okay, so it's
But
different
like
people
any of those, you can have really good ones, really bad ones, and for the most part, they're all pretty
Oh
good.
yeah. And
Right, but there's no arc to it. Like you don't
No,
have to
no,
learn
no,
who
no, no,
anybody
no,
is
no.
and their machinations.
But wouldn't
Right.
you say more often than not these days when somebody gives you the 5th episode, it gets better? Usually it doesn't. Like The Haunting of Hill House, that was one that really climbed up my ass.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, we haven't seen
that
that.
looked
We-
terrible from the get.
You know,
but everybody I
People were like,
Everybody
We actually
I ran
decided to
into
watch
was
it because
talking
of-
about it.
there's Bandersnatch, and there's Bird Box. Those are the two.
Bandersnatch is Black Mirror.
Is Black Mirror,
Oh, yeah.
and then
I watched.
is that
We
just-
saw Bird Box.
and Bird Box is the
Bird
new
Box is
series.
not bad.
I heard that was okay.
Bird
No,
Box
I heard
is
it was
like-
amazing.
It's good, but it's not. It's.
I'm never watching
think
any
of it as.
Don't
the-
worry about it.
Think of it as it's the visual equivalent of A Quiet Place.
Which I never saw. Do you
Quiet
know
Place
why?
is
On
good.
purpose. There's any number. I can't even turn the television on because the commitment is too great. Like there's so many television.
There is Quiet Place was a movie, not a TV series.
Right. I haven't.
It could be on TV.
But there's
Sean.
But there's so much.
on
There's
TV.
so much
There's
content.
so much content.
There's so much content.
My mind is blown
I know.
at the idea
I
of
agree.
turning
and
on.
I feel guilty and bad sometimes. Like there's so much horror and sci-fi
I
stuff.
feel slightly
that
guilty
looks
only
good,
because
and
I'm supposed to be in the entertainment industry and I'm supposed
Yeah,
to watch
yeah.
this
There's
stuff
no
because
way.
of that.
Right.
But so I decided to bail on all of it and then just watch the 9 movies I'm going to watch in a year.
Yeah, I know. It is kind of crazy.
But doesn't it confuse you sometimes when like there's one of those shows where it's a number of people whose opinion you really respect.
Yes.
And then you watch this thing and then you even get to that 5th episode that they're talking about and then you look at it and you go, "Yes, that was the least awful of this awful show."
Right.
Well, it just comes down to it's a matter of taste. I mean, we have all disagreed vehemently
That's
on
true.
some things.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then
yeah,
it
it's
just
true.
goes
I mean,
to show you, we just differ in opinion.
It's just taste
I mean,
maybe.
I think it is a lot of that. Like I said, the number of episodes. Like the one show, although the one series though, which I have really liked from the beginning. Finally, this most recent season, which I'm not through yet, but it's disappointing me for the first time, and that is Channel Zero.
Yeah.
The latest channel, there's still a couple episodes to watch, but all the other seasons I really liked.
Yeah.
But this last one's like, this is the first one where like, this doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I thought it started out okay.
It seemed like it was just going over kind of the same territory.
Yeah, which is too bad. But what I liked about the previous seasons of that is that they were smart. There were 6 episode series. It's
Right.
It's not an anthology.
It's a mini-series,
It's a mini.
basically,
Yeah.
yeah.
So each season is one story told in 6 episodes.
Okay.
Not 10, not 12, not 20.
And they're 1 hours?
And they're 1 hours.
1
But
hours, yeah.
that's perfect. But for this last season, I forget what it's called.
And what is it on?
I forget.
It's
Who
on
did
a
it?
Sci-Fi Channel.
Okay.
And but all the other seasons have been good. But this last one, not impressed.
Like I've seen every season of Sherlock with
I never
with
watched.
Cumberbund.
Never watched.
That
Sherlock.
goes up and down for me within the 3 episodes or whatever they are.
There's only 3 episodes. Each episode is an hour and a half. But
Wait,
it's
there's only 3 episodes per season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
But they're long. They're like
They're-
little movies.
they're little
okay.
movies, and I wasn't disappointed. I liked parts of every single one of them, and I like some of them.
I like them.
Yeah,
Usually that's what kept me,
well,
committed.
the characters of their characterizations,
the
the
actors,
actors.
yeah.
It's like a Columbo episode, with Peter Falk. Is what
Right.
it's
Well,
like,
they would do.
Remember
they were
Columbo,
They were movies.
Sean?
Yeah, it's a great show.
It's like Rockford
There's a
Files,
show that
but
never
a little
disappointed.
darker.
I love.
Yeah, the
every
worst ones
episode.
of that I
Worst
enjoyed.
episode Columbo is still a great.
I
episode.
do enjoy those,
I have to
yes.
admit.
Were you ever
One
a
more
Columbo
question.
fan? No,
One
go
more
ahead.
question. Just going to turn back and ask one more question and then end
She
the
was
episode.
doing
I
Peter
was
Falk
doing-
as Columbo.
I don't know if you guys know this. I do a lot of impressions. That's really part of the biggest problem. It's like-
Well, where was the voice? That was it.
yeah,
I thought
That was your
there's a
impression?
reason why I
For a
don't
second, I
work.
thought Peter Falk is in the room here. I was like, what's going on?
The
It was a little spooky, wasn't it?
the anti-Rich Little, like that. I just speak in my regular voice.
But I say the thing that the person would say, but I really paraphrase it.
For listeners who don't know, the character Columbo, played by Peter Falk,
Actually,
would
it was
always
just one more thing
He would
he would
always
say.
say. He would always say
one
as
more,
he's
excuse
turning
me.
away from the person who actually
One more
committed the crime. He
thing.
goes, "Oh, and one more thing," and it would irritate the criminal.
Yeah, none of you are any good at it either. So none of you should have tried.
Well, at least I did a graggly voice.
Wow.
Yeah, I
At
knew.
least
I
we
knew.
tried.
Yeah, at least we put
Wow.
something
And the
into
fact
it.
is,
Storming out.
You could do Columbo if you try. If you really give it a shot.
Yeah, but
Give it-
can you
just
do
it. Yeah, come on,
Barnaby
hey,
Can you do Barnaby Jones though? That's the question.
Is that the guy in the wheelchair?
No, that's Ironside. Come on, Raymond
Wait,
Burr.
wait a minute,
hello?
wait a minute.
You know,
Barnaby
come on.
Jones probably ended up in a wheelchair.
Yes, but that's Buddy Ebsen.
He was like running around shooting at crooks when he was like 90 years old.
Just one more thing.
See, that's
Okay,
you're on your
yeah.
way. You're on your way. That's a very good start.
Well, I could only do an impression of someone else doing an impression, which is what I
That's how
just did.
That's how you learn impressions.
Can you do Banachek?
I can do Keanu Reeves as James Bond from 1997 because John Bush used to do an impression of it. And
Do it.
My name's it's Bond, Jamie Bond. That's good. Yeah. But he did it much better than that, as you can
Can
imagine.
you do Shatner?
I cannot, even though I just saw him he was on What's My Line, and I was watching MeTV with my brother Russ. My brother Russ likes to watch, it's a hostage situation. He's got the clicker, and he's recorded every Dick Cavett ever, and he makes you watch it. And he goes through, it's Merv Griffin, Dick Cavett, Johnny Carson, all of it. And then over Christmas, it was the Hallmark movies, and he was going through the Hallmark movies. Wait a minute, he's like, see this Ryan Gosling looking guy? Okay, see that mug in his hand? They sell it at the Hallmark store. Okay, fast forward. Okay, see that woman who was on Party of Five? Okay, so see the bauble in her hand? They sell that. They sell that at the Hallmark store. So essentially, all those Hallmark Christmas movies are hour-and-a-half long commercials for what they sell at the Hallmark store.
I didn't know that.
It was a fascinating.
So that finally gives reason for their existence.
Right.
So, New Fear's resolution, we're not going to watch the Hallmark Channel. Is that it?
Hey,
Attainable goal.
You can
Attainable
get that
goal.
Swiffer.
Right.
Yeah.
You see what's happening right there? That coffee maker? No.
Yeah,
It's
they sell that in stores.
That's fascinating.
that angel with a stick up butt.
Well, if I could just make a little segue here as we're talking about things that you could purchase. You kind of tapped on something. I just want to just jump into something here.
Go.
Well, a New Fear's resolution that I hope for somebody to do. I was very optimistic. A while back at the last Comic-Con, you guys had Dr. Migo on the show.
So I was going to get this too,
And
yes.
okay, so we can kind of do this together.
so
and,
twice, okay.
and look, I remember I wasn't able to go to the show. I listened to the episode, and it's a great episode. I recommend to listeners to check it out because the guys did a great job interviewing Dr. Migo. But the thing that kind of surprised me is, and I understand, Migo has an exclusive deal with Target.
Yeah,
which is
Migos come back.
Yes.
They're in you can literally go into a store now, and on the racks, just like back in the 70s, you can see Migo figures, which is awesome.
It's so great. It's so exciting. And so what they've
You know
done,
Migo, Jackie?
I do not know Migo.
Action figures from that started in the
1970s.
70s, like 8-inch action figures of
Superman,
superheroes, Planet of the Apes, Star
Batman.
Trek. But they were like the
Star
action
Trek,
figure.
Planet of the
Like,
Apes.
before-
their clothes.
grew up on.
No,
Yes,
no.
8-inch.
Well,
Clothes on 'em.
it's pre-Star Wars toys.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Oh, like sort of the G.I. Joe ones?
But
They're
smaller,
smaller.
8-inch.
Oh, they're
yeah.
small.
And they had fabric clothing on.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Which
And
now
if you go to any
so many other
convention,
toy
yeah.
companies copy that model.
Okay.
Like,
I
you'll
think
see
I
'em at
remember seeing
conventions.
like a Luke Skywalker. He's wearing the tunic.
No, there's no. We're talking
This is
before
before
that.
Star Wars.
Before
Okay.
that.
Right.
But the thing that gets me is I understand the Dr. Migo's logic. They made this deal with Target, and they're trying to do other lines that might be kind of kitschy that people might want to get into, like let's say the Brady Bunch characters. Okay,
Sure.
I get it. Okay, and I Dream of Jeannie. I get it. I get it.
they had, like, Jeannie and Major
but
Nelson,
here's the issue.
Bewitched.
And I get that. But the thing that really bugged me is I would go constantly and David Weiner, former
A friend of ours.
yes.
Put us in a magazine.
Yes. No.
Yes.
I love David Weiner. He's a former editor of Famous Monsters magazine. He's always posting things. Hey, picked up these new Star Trek figures and at this Target. I'm like, every time I go to Target, I can never find these. But the Star Trek figures, they did a Sulu and a Chekhov, which had come out previously, but they also did a Romulan and a Gorn, and it's great. And those sell like crazy. But when they did Brady Bunch, they decided to start with Alice, the maid. I'm like, what is the logic behind that? Why didn't you do Greg and Marcia, like the two most popular characters? And so
Bedroom playset.
well, I'm just questioning some of their decisions, and now when I go to Target and I see, there's plenty of Alice's still on the peg. We're past Christmas, and I'm worried now. I'm like, maybe things haven't worked out for them.
Here's my thing: is that I love the fact that Migo now exists again, as a toy line, and I appreciate, like you said, the kitsch value of things like you can get an Endora and Sam Endora and Sam playset of Bewitched.
Yeah.
They have Married with Children.
Yeah.
They have Brady Bunch, and that's great. But I would think though that for most of the target audience for Migo figures, it's going to be like the monsters and the sci-fi stuff that is going to sell the most. The Planet of the Apes figures that they put out were great. And I would want them to put out new Planet of the Apes figures, but other characters that they didn't originally release.
Yes.
Like, what about have they ever actually? I know that other companies have done Planet of the Apes figures.
Yeah.
But has there ever been a Mego-sized Nova figure?
No.
Mego-sized with the cloth. Has there ever been?
No,
Like that
no.
seems like a natural. for
Totally.
Mego,
Yes,
though.
but here's my question about the whole new wave of Mego figures, which is okay. So they're doing these type of figures, the 8-inch with the material clothing.
Yeah.
And we're doing Endora. We're doing Bewitched.
Yeah, Bewitched,
We're
Mary-
doing the
Mary-
Brady Bunch.
Mary
Right,
Mitchell,
right.
Cheers.
And it's like,
Cheers.
who is this for?
Yeah,
I'd understand
Well,
if it was the Golden Girls, because those people are nuts.
The
People
Golden
love the
Girls,
Golden
they've
Girls.
released 2 different toy lines of Golden Girls figures.
Right, those because they're
But it's the
hugely
kitsch-
popular.
right? But it's it's
like
for fans who they're not monster kids. They're horror sci-fi fans. They're
just-
pop
but
culture
Nobody's
fans.
into Bewitched.
If they're trying
that
to do, if
hardcore.
they're trying to make money and they're trying to, because I want Mego to stay
So do
around.
I.
want
Absolutely.
them to succeed, and I agree with you. But I even think like even with Planet of the Apes, maybe Planet of the Apes has sort of done a little bit, and that maybe they need to explore some new licensing.
Oh, absolutely.
How about a
Last
Mego-sized-
Starfighter? Robert Preston?
No, the
Zardoz?
the alien characters in those would be good Mego figures. But no, you're right. Planet of the Apes.
How about a Mego-sized alien?
Yes. Oh, I
yeah.
love
Big
that.
crazy plastic
I
head?
love that
How about
idea.
a Mego-sized
Ripley
Predator?
or a Ripley. Yeah.
Well, they kind of have. I think other companies have come close to putting out that kind of figure. But that's why.
NECA has
about
done the
yeah.
They've done the nicely molded, plastic figures.
What about
Right,
Zool?
right.
What about Zool? We go Ghostbusters.
Well,
we
they
got
put
a
out,
Rick
they
Moranis.
put out
and
great
a-
Ghostbusters figures.
Well,
Not
they did
Mego,
Sigourney,
but
somebody did,
Sigourney
yeah.
Weaver.
yes, they have. Yep, they did all those.
The point is I question some of the decisions made by Dr. Mego.
I question all of
and
them.
I would love to give him a
And let's-
call.
it's not-
And he says,
let's not put this on Dr. Mego
goes,
either.
he goes, no,
it's
it's
the
Dr.
company.
Mego, and he's
No,
like,
it's
oh,
not-
Mego
It's
fans,
not
they all
just
have
him,
their
though,
lists.
making the decisions.
There are other people
There's a
involved
team.
with this.
There's
Yeah,
a team.
but also-
Mego, yeah.
But like I think we've discussed this before. But like new toy lines of like Logan's Run,
Yeah, we haven't
Land
seen
of the
it.
Land of the Lost.
Yep, we
I
haven't
love
seen
that,
it.
but walking down the aisle of Target, Logan's Run?
No. See,
I think they would
Land
sell
of the
more than
Lost?
Bewitched.
No. First of all, do you know where these figures are? The funny
Yes.
thing is when you look at that, you see it's like Cheers figures and Brady Bunch. It's right between like the Batman. It's like in the superhero area.
Right. I still
it's like
think
monsters and
anything
super-
horror
and it's
sci-fi
like-
monster is going to sell better than
True.
any kind of general pop culture.
And I'm
True.
thinking you are missing your market, and it's driving me nuts.
because I think our friend Martin Cage, I think he fills that gap of the more obscure figures that
Yeah.
probably you're not going to find in a Target.
Yeah,
You-
we got a
you
friend
wanna-
of ours who has this company called Distinctive Dummies in Thailand. And this guy puts out these figures where they are sold out like in an hour.
Yeah, literally,
But they do a really low run.
Yeah, like
so it's like
180
80 or 100 or something like
80.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they're
But they're
beautifully
Mego sized.
made?
Yeah, they're like Mego-sized
They're
figures.
8-inch. Usually, all of them have cloth clothing.
yeah, they're all basically Migos style.
Yeah,
you know.
and really nicely detailed and
Articulated?
articulated,
Yeah.
and characters that you'll never see
Yeah, nobody can
anyone
put out.
else do.
But that's why
What's the name of that company?
Distinctive Dummies.
Distinctive Dummies.
Great.
That's awesome.
It's great. But
Yeah.
now that's why I think the other end of the spectrum, what Mego is trying to do now, like a place like Target, which is like a general retail store that any regular Joe is going to go to. They're thinking, the Me TV crowd. I mean, it's like that.
Yes.
All those old shows, but it's pop culture. Everybody knows the Brady Bunch, and to a point, everybody knows
No,
I Dream of Jeannie,
and
Bewitched.
Cheers.
But I just don't know if toy collectors
I don't
are going
think
to
so.
gravitate to that.
I don't know.
We all know that they aren't.
Yeah,
I think
whereas
it's a
horror-
terrible business decision.
Yeah, horror sci-fi fans collect.
Yeah.
They want merchandise of their shows and movies, and that's why I think if they did,
You don't want a figure that just looks like a guy.
right?
the-
right.
for the most part.
It's like
Right,
I
for
would
the most
love to have talked to Dr. Mego and say, so in the pitch meeting, you guys go, so there's people out there who want all the Cheers figures people. They're all going to sit in there, going
Right,
to make
it's
their little
one
bar.
guy.
Maybe like
It's
George,
one guy
George
who's
Wendt's
gonna-
mom might want it, but like
Right,
other
that's
than that, yeah, it's like. But that's why I think
Cheers has a better
but-
shot than the Brady Bunch, I think.
No,
I
don't think
maybe,
so.
Maybe,
No.
but I think that they're going in waves.
Just thought they play it more.
The next wave is coming out. I think maybe March. So I think they're going. I mean,
Hogan's Heroes? Is that coming out?
Oh,
Let's go.
no. I know
That-
someone who would buy
If they did that,
several.
Yeah.
if they did that, I would buy everything. I fucking love Hogan's Heroes. I love that show, and I want them to do everybody.
Yeah,
Well, I would
yeah.
I would buy them if they did Barney Miller.
I would too. I think I would too.
I think you're right.
I would too.
I think you're right.
Are you listening, Migo?
I want a Jack Sue figure.
You know
on
what
my shelf.
happened? It's I got Steve Landisberg. I got
coffee.
dibs on Steve Landisberg.
With the coffee.
And then you would come into my house and you'd say, "Oh my God, it's been up her ass," which is a reference to his act from 1999.
God bless you.
And we had like a police station play set. Oh my God! Because pretty much that set was that he could easily do his little vinyl set.
You could, you could do it the way that they
Exactly.
did the old Migos.
desks
The little,
and a
little
cage.
cage. Yeah. Oh my God, that'd be awesome. So yeah, but again, it's kind of like a two-edged sword. Like I'm literally overjoyed, and I kind of can't believe that the
we're
Migos
rooting
back.
for him.
It's kind of amazing, and like I just
It
hope
is.
we see more of the stuff that's kind of up our alley as far as like horror sci-fi stuff.
Is it up or down around?
It's both. It's through. It's right freaking through around.
Okay, so I was at the Disney store on Thanksgiving
Because
weekend.
you're doing very well.
On a record, because I'm doing very well,
Yes,
you guys. And we did all of our, and so it was super fun. But what they have is they have these new action figures. They had Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah.
Obviously. And it was the brand name was Toy Box. Have you heard about the Toy Box brand? They're just chunkier. They're sort of like, remember Zevos?
What's Zevos?
Zevos is Micronauts kind of.
Oh, they like blockhead,
yeah,
they blockhead kind of things.
But
looking?
Toy boxes. The
Kind of like a super deformed-ish
Or it's
kind of a thing.
like they're like He-Man type figures.
Yeah, He-Man.
Yes. I have
is that-
seen those. Yes.
It's like
Okay.
that, right?
Okay.
And they
That's not bad.
that's not bad.
Because I'm not a fan of the blockhead.
So,
Nah.
listeners,
Pop-
Jackie
pop
is
figures.
showing us
I just
a picture.
not-
and
not
again
good.
on
You
this
can find
audio
them on the
show. I
internet.
brought some
Yeah.
visual.
But that's a
aids.
good. She's showing us the
This
Spider-Man.
is the Spider-Man, the black suited Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his calves are disproportionate.
But they
the
look
feet
more
are
like
really
for
big.
little kid, smaller.
I do
kids,
like that, though.
You know.
It's really and the thing is they stand up.
That's good because that's true. A lot of figures that we
don't-
like
they
are so realistic
stand
don't
up.
stand up. Yeah.
Hey, there's a resolution for you.
Yes, all figures.
All figures should stand on their own.
From this point on, all
they
figures
should-
in 2019
should stand on their own.
Yes.
And hold their accessories.
Yes, please.
I agree. That's the best resolution
that is
ever.
a good Matt. I agree. James,
Yes.
what do you
Done.
think?
I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
have this. I got from the Warner Brothers store. God, I missed that place.
Memories.
Yeah.
That was great.
I really love that store. Yeah.
That was
But
super.
the Disney store, I got this Planet Hulk figure right over there. This limited edition. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Beautifully sculpted, wonderful.
That is gorgeous.
Figure. I had to take double-sided double-sided tape to get him to hold his battle axe.
Oh my God! You know,
Yeah.
What
don't
world
get
are
that.
we living in?
You know,
That is
madness.
Thanks,
shocking.
Trump.
You know,
That is- that
the
is
toy line.
shocking.
You know the toy line that was infamous.
Yes.
The toy line that was infamous for that too are all the Lord of the Rings figures. The
Oh,
Lord of the Rings
yeah.
are beautiful.
Yes, they are.
Screen
true. I have a
accurate figures,
Saruman.
and half of them stand up.
So when I do my nativity scene every year at Christmas, I mix up like who the
Orcs
shepherds are. And,
and- yeah.
So I've got Saruman as one of he's been a shepherd 2 years in a row.
Saruman?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's it
I'd
was
follow that.
Saruman,
I'd follow that religion.
What does he bring?
Queen Amidala. It was him, Queen Amidala, and I think it was Lilo. Those were the three stitches.
Awesome.
Those
And
were the
who's
three
the
shepherds.
baby in the?
The baby was
IG-88.
Nice one, Sheridan.
I think it was. Oftentimes it's a Jawa, like a Jawa. This year it was the Jawa baby for years, but this year it was just one of the
A Jawa baby.
yeah.
I can't even see that. They don't even leave the cloak.
Wait,
the
it
sixth
was,
year.
wait, no, it was a Sand People baby. It wasn't. It wasn't a Jawa. I'm so.
okay.
No. That's okay.
That'll
That's all right.
happen.
That
That'll
would have
happen,
worked.
you
But don't you agree? Like, I mean, those figures are so beautiful. When
Yeah.
They put up, but they I mean, all the weapons they don't. Most
They
of them don't
couldn't.
hold
They couldn't
the
hold
weapons.
anything.
They
Right.
stand-
The
they
toy
can't
box
stand.
Black Widow that I bought cannot hold her nunchucks or
Doesn't
whatever.
make any sense.
Are not won't stay in her hands.
What
and
is
it's
with
annoying.
that?
How about of course, it must be very expensive to do this, but like something like just an embedded little area in the hand where it fits perfectly.
Magnets.
Magnets.
Magnet. I have the
There's a
greatest
couple figures that do
There's
that.
a
I love
Spider-Man
that.
magnet. one where his hands and feet have magnets on them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I have him climbing a lamp pole, and he's super articulated.
Right, right.
I don't know where we got it, but
got
I want more of them.
I think
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
got a Batman Mego figure that's got magnets.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's we have a I think it's an Iron Giant figure that has a little magnet on its palm to hold
That's
the
right.
kid.
Yeah.
and that's cool. It's like they should do more of that. I mean, come on, this is 2019. It's time to
Come on,
up the
people.
ante for action figures.
I'm with you guys. I am going to say that no. I'm just saying it all comes down to cost because that little
Sure.
magnet. Remember, it's not just a magnet
No, you're
on
right.
one end. You got to have either a magnet or a piece of
Right.
metal on the other side. So instead
true.
of the piece of plastic, now you got to put the metal or the magnet. However,
Right.
it would make me a happier consumer. If they did that, if they put the effort into it, I would buy another one, or I would continue the line rather than get irritated and say, "Oh, the thing can't hold its weapon."
Right.
So I'm with you, but I'm just saying that logically, I'm thinking it's a cost thing. But I think, wouldn't you guys agree that people or companies that make these toys should go the extra effort? I will pay the extra $1 or whatever it is, so my figure can hold that weapon.
How about this? Okay, we can't do the magnet, let's just say, because it costs too much. How about just a really tight, snug weapon that fits the hand?
The mold.
It
Just
slides
spend the money
right
on the
in.
mold.
Yeah, yeah.
Spend the money on the mold.
Done.
Right.
Because I've seen figures. I have a couple figures that are like that, and it works perfectly.
right. Yeah.
A lot of these new Hot Wheels they're heavier. Like that's metal.
Oh, that's nice.
It's got
wow.
some plastic in it, but it's got a good.
No, that's
heft
got
to
some
it.
weight.
and it makes them roll better on the tracks. But I mean, there's some of them like the Groot, the Rocket and Groot one. It's all plastic, and you're like, ugh.
No, you need the weight for it to move.
Yeah.
They were trying to make it look like Groot, and I think to make a metal Groot might have been
Would have been weird. Yeah.
Maybe,
tough.
right.
Or too much metal.
Yeah.
Well, the Groot is it's a logging truck. Talk about some insensitive. That's pretty insensitive. It's like a logging truck.
No.
Yeah.
That's like Foghorn Leghorn being the mascot for Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Okay, so here's for some movie releases. For like Blu-rays and DVDs. This is a series of films that still to this day have not been officially released on DVD or Blu-ray. And these are not just obscure movies. These are like classic kind of staples of 50s monster films. We're talking about Invasion of the Saucer Man, It Conquered the World, I Was a Teenage Frankenstein, I Was a Teenage Werewolf, The Amazing Colossal Man. Now, these were AIP films from the 50s and 60s.
Right.
Or from the 50s. And I believe is that James H. Nicholson, he was one of the presidents of AIP, he was married to Susan Hart. Susan Hart was the actress. She was in...
From Heart to Heart.
no.
When they met.
She was in Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine. She was in a couple of his films. This beautiful actress, and she's still alive. So she's the widow of James H. Nicholson. I think she holds the rights to these films, and I think she's been approached several times, to have these things released. But
Get
hasn't done
away
yet.
from my door.
So I implore Susan Hart in 2019 to release these films because these are classic 50s B movies that should.
Yeah, I always wondered what the problem was.
Have you
there.
tried tweeting at her?
Yes, you should try. But I assume that there's something with the estate, and I don't know if she's holding back for a reason.
I think
but,
you should make a phone call.
Yeah, really.
Rights are always.
'Cause
There's
she's-
always a weird problem.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
rights to
I'm
this.
pretty sure she holds the rights, and they would make a great boxed set of classic 50s films. I Was a Teenage Werewolf is like a classic, iconic.
It's
One of my
possi-
favorites.
Monster film from the 50s.
I will.
Although
throw-
I like Frankenstein more.
I will
like
throw
both,
this
yeah.
out. You bring up a really interesting issue. I'm just saying one issue might be. I remember talking to Yvonne Craig before she had passed away.
Mm-hmm.
They had made an offer that when the Batman figures, it took so long to make these really great, authentic looking Batman figures of Burt
right,
Ward
of
and
their
West,
likenesses,
and
right.
they had to pay these guys to get a likeness,
Right.
A fee, and so they approached Yvonne Craig because they wanted to make a Batgirl. And she said that the amount of money that was offered to her, she said, didn't seem reasonable. They're gonna,
Make a lot on
make
it.
tons. But the reality is, and I think Jason Lindsay, who was on our toy making episode, talked to us about, look, you're not selling millions of these toys now. The toy industry has changed. Even if
Right.
you're selling to fans, first of all, the process to create that toy, to manufacture that toy, to package that toy, to sell the toy, and all that stuff you have to do is a huge cost. And your percentage has to be really great.
Right.
And so to her, it didn't seem like a lot of money. Now,
Right.
these movies that you're saying, they're great to you and me, but they're not the latest Star Wars film or the latest Marvel film. And so maybe
but-
people that have approached us said, look, we'll give you X. And she thinks, no, I want Y. I want this. These are worth a ton of money. And they say,
Maybe.
look,
Yeah, consider the market. Because
Yeah.
there's going to come a time when that generation is just gone.
that's the thing
Right.
that gets
And
me,
no
Matt.
one's gonna
No one's
be
gonna care.
interested.
No, I mean, look, it's great that people like you and me, and I mean, here on the show, we let our listeners know, and I teach my kid about these older classic movies and stuff. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't release this stuff to get out to the public now, people may forget,
Yeah,
and then
it's
there
true.
may come a time when you've lost everything.
Sure.
There's no chance. I will say this, Sean. I do hope that someone can convince her, Miss Hart, to
Right.
reconsider, because I do think the clock is ticking. And look, she's not going to live forever either. And who knows where those rights will go to when she passes.
Right.
So,
I think
but my new fears resolution is along with yours. I do hope that does happen, because I would love to see a Blu-ray of all of those films, and with great commentaries.
It's true.
So my final New Fears resolution, which is not really for me, it's for the Motion Picture Academy.
Oh.
I would like their resolution to be that now that we've opened the door to horror movies again, when it comes to nominations like for Get Out.
Does it have its own now?
What's that?
Or is there a horror?
No.
No.
Like, The Shape of Water
The
won
Shape
the
of
Best
Water,
Picture,
which
you
won
know,
Best Picture, but it's not really a horror movie.
It's a monster.
More of a fairy tale.
Okay,
even.
okay.
Fantasy,
okay.
love
Yeah.
story.
But now that we, or at least are more open to that kind of genre entry, my resolution for them is to go farther, is to discover a whole new slot of horror films that are being made every day. There are so many great horror movies that I watch that I think, oh my God, this is Oscar caliber, and they're completely ignored. For example, Hereditary, I think is
Oh, you've told us about that. That's one on our list to
excellent.
watch. Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, Toni Collette, Gabriel Byrne, and there's some real actors in this thing.
Those are names, but
Oh, yeah.
I've never, and
Well,
it
the
just
horror-
never got wide release. Is that what the problem was?
I think the horror genre in general, though, is not looked upon. You're right, though. I mean,
No,
it's
so much red-haired stepchild.
it's such a vibrant genre now. I mean, even more so than ever. Horror and sci-fi.
Right,
Yeah.
because Get Out, and then doesn't Jordan Peele have a new?
Yeah, that one's coming.
Oh,
yeah,
he's coming out, yeah.
But I mean, there are so many others. Like, yeah, that was a breakout movie, but there are so many that I see, like Mandy with
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage, yeah, was so great and very artistic and did some really interesting, unusual things with filmmaking.
And the Academy's supposed to be about filmmaking, right? And it's
Yes.
supposed to be about using the technology.
And that the fact that they're so afraid, is strange,
Weird.
of the horror genre, because some of the most interesting ideas and tapping at your fears is the stuff of drama.
Sure.
So why not include more of these kind of movies?
Right, they really do like a slice of life, kind of weird, book of the month kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as much as I like movies like Phantom Thread or Lady Bird, I'll put Hereditary over a lot of the movies that I saw that were nominated last year.
The only movie I saw last year that was not a superhero movie or a cartoon was Widows. Did you see Widows?
I heard that was
No.
good.
It was if Ocean's 8 were a film. It was actually really, really
I
good.
heard it was
a
really
a,
fun.
It was a heist
Yeah.
movie,
Really?
and it was super dark. And yeah, it was great. Actually, it was.
Matt, can I follow up on your thing for the Academy? The one thing I'd want to throw in that, for me, my new fears resolution along that is, Academy, don't be so worried about trying to placate to everybody. Here's the thing that bugs me. The Academy is flipping out that, oh my gosh, our numbers each year are going down for watching the Academy Awards. You know what? And everyone complains every year, oh, it's so long. Look, everyone's going to complain every year the show was too long, number one. That's not going to change. Number two, oh, so it went from 1.5 billion people watching to maybe 1.1. Ooh, you know what? Don't worry about that. Stay true to yourself. You don't have to put, we're going to make the most popular movie to create all these different stupid categories.
An institution.
And it's like, that's not necessary. I love the idea. What you said is like, open yourselves up to other films, and I love that.
Horror is a vibrant genre right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I think
very popular, and there's some great
it might get
stuff
some more
being
people.
done.
More people would watch the show if there was more sort of weird movies that only that.
I might actually start watching the Academy Awards.
Yeah,
then.
I don't watch the Academy
Yeah,
Awards.
I haven't
would
watched the
also-
Academy Awards in 20
it
years.
would break a lot of young actors too. Like in Hereditary, there's this guy Alex Wolff who is Toni Collette's son in the film, and this guy is like this method actor who, from all reports, lived this role to the point where he had to get psychotherapy when it was done. And that kind of commitment. I don't hear those stories about every film that comes down the pike.
Right.
And, but this guy immersed himself in the most dark, and this film is scary. This is one of the few films in recent memory that gave me a nightmare.
Wow.
Really, really good. And a lot of stuff that you haven't seen.
What do you think about this pitch? Zombie film. You're always trapped, right? You're in a mall, you're in a house. You can't leave because there's zombies right at your door. And it's about how there's no excuse not to do the shit around the house. You're like, well, you're
love
trapped
that.
in here.
Finally get to,
Why don't you do the fucking dishes?
shampooing the rug.
There's absolutely no reason
Yeah,
why you
do the
can't build that
laundry.
bookcase.
Yeah,
Isn't it
it's
almost
true.
like the subplot of Last Man on Earth, I Am Legend?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
because in that story, the guy, he's the last man on Earth,
Yeah.
and everybody else outside are vampires. And one of the things he really has to deal with is the boredom.
Right?
That's so. What do? Yeah, you clean, and then you
Yeah.
clean
Right.
again, and then you make a mess on purpose so you can clean again.
Right. Reorganize your DVDs.
Yeah.
You see Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah.
Because
I haven't seen that. Is that any good?
It's great.
Okay.
It's
No, you won't like it.
Oh, but
No,
you
I'm
won't
telling you.
like it,
No,
but
he
it's
won't.
excellent.
Yeah, I liked it.
You will not enjoy
Is it hilarious?
No, it is not hilarious.
But
It's heartwarming.
But if you like Giant Man, there's lots of great Giant Man stuff. I'm
I
serious.
love Giant Man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just that.
I just
stuff
don't want
is
it to be
great.
too hilarious. That's all.
It's pretty wacky,
no,
hilarious.
there's a little bit of wacky just because Henry Pym is in there, and so things get big that shouldn't be big.
Yeah,
and
I mean, there's
things
some-
are made
it's
tiny
wacky.
that
It's
shouldn't
funny.
be made tiny.
Yeah.
And that's the wackiness that might.
Yeah.
Rudd,
go,
I love.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
He's great, but it's the rest of the comedy hijinks. Like in the first one with the car that plays La Cucaracha, who is
Oh, right,
driven
that
by
kid.
the Hispanic
That's
guy.
hilarious.
They're like, what is this, Chico and the Man? Like, what is this?
No, that guy was great in that movie. He was great in The Martian.
He's great.
He
Yes.
is.
He's
Yes.
great.
Yes.
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about
The
that,
writing.
that
Right.
terrible gag.
Right, that gag, the gag where he tells the story is rebooted.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they use him less in a less stereotypical way, which is
Good.
awesome.
That's true.
That's good.
That's true.
That's
I
true.
agree.
Yeah, and it's and he
Michelle
is wonderful
Pfeiffer's in
again.
it. Michelle, yeah. I mean,
Oh, really?
You know,
Yeah,
and
she's Pym's wife.
I got to tell you though, but every time I hear that, it makes me laugh. So I'm sorry. I thought that was funny.
Do you laugh every time there's an Asian guy in a movie and you hear? Do you laugh at that too?
I don't remember
about
seeing
Mickey?
anything like that.
What about
Yeah.
Mickey Rooney? You ever see him? Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Yes.
It takes a mediocre
So-
movie and
so
makes
you
it
like-
horrible.
So when you go see the jazz singer, you're like,
Okay. All right.
the blackface sign in Holiday
Yeah,
Inn.
this is very okay.
'Cause he's not.
Okay,
He's not
all
really.
right. I think we can move on now.
Wait, what were we talking about?
I was just saying,
Oscars.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't really matter because
Yeah.
we're moving on.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
All
but the
right.
Oscars, yeah. But,
Yeah.
but
No, I
that's your
agree.
fear. That's what you guys would like is for them to treat it like.
Or my new fears are just to have no more award show of any kind ever
Or-
again.
Or they could
No,
just
Sean.
award each other
No.
at the Hilton.
Wait, it'll be a
Why don't
better
they just go
world.
to the Hilton
No,
like they did
think
in
of
the
all the
beginning?
money and time you
just
could spend
give
on
out the
making
awards.
movies.
I don't have to see it.
I
Instead
like
of-
award
Ugh,
shows.
hate
You don't
award
like-
shows.
you don't-
No,
but don't
no.
you
It's
like?
just supposed to get people work.
You work.
Right.
You work your ass on some movie and you get nominated. Oh my gosh, I'm nominated. Oh my gosh, and the winner is Shawn Sheridan. You're
I don't need to be on TV to have that. They can come to my house and give me an award. That's fine.
because you don't want to get up in front of a billion
money or
No,
something.
because you don't
I
want to
wanna
get
be
up in front of a billion
televised.
The
people.
fact that you're willing to come to this this room once a week.
Isn't this an award enough?
That's true. This is
Like,
my
what
award
if
right
what
there.
if we won?
Best podcast of the year?
Yeah, like the
You can't even
Thalberg
imagine an award that we would win.
the Rondo. What if we won the Rondo Award? And the Rondo for best podcast goes to.
It took him 3 minutes to come up with the Rondo.
Right, I've never even
It goes
heard
to
of
the guys at
Rondo. I've been
Monster
doing a
Party.
podcast for a decade.
Hey.
The Rondo is
Yes.
a horror fantasy
Sci-fi
award.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
in the community that's given out for
And
various
it's weird
things.
because you must be the only person who doesn't know about it. It's based on the actor Rondo Hatton.
you know him, right?
Does that explain it?
I have his action figure. I have the
course
action
you
figure.
do.
I actually do have his
does
action
have
figure.
it.
Yes.
Yay!
All right.
And so
So is this it?
I think so. Yeah.
This has been great. It really has. I mean, we could go on and on talking about our new fears.
This was good.
Yes.
This is good.
It was a
We
good one.
covered a
Thanks for
lot.
having me.
This was
I think
feisty
this
and
is
fun.
good. Yeah, we covered a lot, and just hopefully 2019 will be bigger and better than previous years.
Unfortunately, I will not be bigger because the holidays.
yes,
Oh.
right.
I'll be bigger.
Oh man, so good.
Well, Jackie, thank
True.
you so much for being with us. We really
Yes.
appreciate
Awesome.
it.
Thanks for having me.
You have no idea how fond I am of you. I
Oh.
just love you to pieces.
Oh, that is amazing. Thank you, because I am a giant fan of yours. These guys, they're
Not so much. Yeah. No, I know. I believe me.
So things going well on the Dork Forest? You still
the
doing-
Dork
what
Forest
else?
is going well. Everybody's still dorking out about things,
Cool.
which is a delight. We did holiday horror movies with Matt
Yeah.
Weinhold.
Awesome.
And then the week after did Hallmark holiday movies, which was a continuation.
A different kind of horror.
Yeah, a different kind of continuation.
real life horror.
And then, there's been some great episodes
awesome.
this year, which I've really liked. So you go to dorkforest.com. I have another podcast just where I celebrate and bitch about stand-up comedy called The Jackie and Laurie Show with Laurie Kilmartin.
The
Awesome.
Jackie.
Oh,
It's called.
Laurie.
It's called the Jackie and Laurie Show.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's
Laurie Lori.
No, Laurie.
Ah, see.
Super Irish. Laurie
Yeah.
Kilmartin. She's Luxembourgan though, because she got a different passport so that she can run if she needs to. And
Does she like genre stuff?
she only likes swimming and red delicious apples.
All right.
What about scary red delicious?
She went to Japan and ate almost. She was just in Japan for a week and a half, and or
She
a
like
week.
it?
She loved. This is the second time she's been to Japan.
Huh?
But she went to Japan. She ate almost entirely out of 7-Elevens.
7-Elevens have good
Seriously.
stuff. No,
And
seriously.
really a wise decision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And for listeners, I mean, we kind of talked about this. 7-Elevens over in Japan, they're not
Yeah.
like the 7-Elevens
No, not at
here
all.
in the States.
Oh my God.
They
you can,
have.
You can
Wow.
eat like royalty.
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
Out of a
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
I'm telling you, really.
And the shrimp burgers
how
at
about
McDonald's are
shrimp burgers at
amazing.
McDonald's?
And
Oh,
if you guys could defend the red delicious apple.
They're the reddish, most delicious of the apples.
Nope. Okay, that's
Jazz,
where
jazz apples.
they're the worst. Red
What
delicious.
What are the good ones then?
I like a gala, but a lot of people like a Brayburn. I mean, there's just a lot.
Brayburn? What's
yeah,
that?
BRAEBURNE.
We should do an
BURN.
apples episode.
Yes, we should.
How about apples? 2 apples.
I like the Coburn
Fuji apples.
apple.
That's
Jazz
a Japanese
apples are
reference.
good. Jazz apples I like.
Oh, this is.
What's a
this is
jazz
great.
apple? That's you're just making.
No,
that
that's
up.
what you started me.
I started
Or
doing
you
that?
talked about jazz apples.
Did I?
Galas?
Was this one of those times where I was like, "Hey,
Jazz-
James,
4
get-
episodes in.
I'm going to convince Sean that there's an apple called a jazz
Isn't
apple."
it called jazz apples? Yeah.
I don't
jazz
know.
apples.
If you say there are,
Yeah,
then I
they're
believe
good.
you
They're good.
because I
And if
believe
you, have
everything you
if
say.
you have 4 of them, they get really good.
Well,
I needed to do that joke again.
well, Jackie, thank you again
Thank
so
you very
much
much.
for being with
JackieCation.com.
us.
I'm out of here.
And what about stand-up?
Stand-up comedy. I'm constantly doing stand-up comedy. I'm in Seattle this week at Laughs Comedy Club over by the university.
Sweet. And you got a special, right?
No, well, my current album is called "I'm Not the Hero of This Story," and if you go to JackieCation.com or FamilyPetAncestry.com, which if you want to know if your cat came over on the Mayflower, or it just points you to JackieCation.com. FamilyPetAncestry.com.
Awesome.
Is your dog a member of the DAR, the Dogs of the American Revolution? That's a very old joke, but I keep it up because it's funny. It remains funny.
See, it was worth following up on.
That's
this.
right. Cool.
All right.
Thanks, Jackie.
Well, Jackie, let's all do a toast to the new year.
Hey.
Time time for a listener shout out.
Shout out!
Shout out.
Shout out! Shout out! Shout out!
This goes out to Amber Voorhees in Florida.
Is that her real last
It's a
name?
real name.
That's awesome.
Wow, Amber.
Amber.
I'm sure she's heard this before.
No, yeah, I'm sure she's not tired of that at all.
Amber and her boyfriend Franz Griffel are longtime listeners, avid listeners.
Cool.
And they were taking pictures under the tree, and Amber insisted that for the last set of pictures, they changed into their Monster Party t-shirts.
Cool.
No.
His and hers. And at that point, Franz decided to pop the question.
Are you kidding me?
And this Monster
And
Party
they have
t-shirts?
a lovely
What?
picture. They have a lovely picture under the tree in their Monster Party t-shirt.
Oh my gosh. That is
Presumably,
awesome.
Amber said yes.
Wow.
So congratulations, guys.
Oh, congratulations.
That is so cool.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure on us.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
We're very honored that this magical
is
moment happened
amazing.
with the
Yeah.
Monster Party swag. So
We've got to post that.
we will
Yes.
post it.
Yes,
if,
totally.
If it's okay with
Guys, thank you.
yeah.
It's such a cute photo of you guys. Thank you.
Do we need to do a wedding podcast?
Can you
Horror
imagine?
and sci-fi wedding.
Well, yeah, like the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones. Yeah.
And we do it at their wedding.
Oh my!
That's awesome, guys.
That is really awesome.
Congratulations.
You take this person to be, and we could go on and on.
I'm sorry, James. You were
That's awesome.
saying
No, it's wonderful, and you listeners can find the Monster Party swag on our eBay store, which is Monster Party Store, easy to remember. Let's also remind our listeners you can find us on Facebook and YouTube at Monster Party TV, our Twitter handle at Monster Party HQ. Our Instagram is also Monster Party HQ. If you're listening to us on iTunes, please take a moment and write a review. We would love to hear from you, and we
Yes.
will very likely read your review on the air.
Oh, we will.
Especially if you get married.
Yeah, yeah. Now we're only taking wedding shout-outs. Step it up, suckers.
And let's also remind our listeners we will be at the next Monster Palooza in Pasadena
Dun,
this
dun, dun.
April. We will have a booth once again, so buy your tickets early.
So wade through the crowd to get to us.
Yeah, wade through the paparazzi and meet us.
Yes.
Meet us.
You know, there are people that hang out in our booth.
Oh, no. Actually,
yes,
yes, we
yeah, we know
had a
those
very
people.
active booth last year.
Yeah, no, it was fun to the point where I think we annoyed the person next to us.
Which is
right?
why we're
They
not-
requested that we move to a different booth.
Seriously,
We're just too cool.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Just grabbing
Because
the
we were
spotlight.
so popular. I thought it would bring more attention to their booth, but I guess
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah, maybe it's not us. Maybe it's you.
They're going to miss us. Mark my words.
That's right. That's right.
All right. And speaking of love,
Yes.
I'd like to give a little love to our friends at Creature Features. Creature Features. Hey, man, they're still selling tons of stuff on eBay. Go to C-Features, that's their store name on eBay, and check out all their amazing stuff. They have signed books and CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays, models, statues, kits, and all kinds of things to satisfy all your monster needs. And if you can't find them there, just go to their website at creaturefeatures.com.
Cool.
I also
Yes.
want to give some love to Time Tunnel Toys.
Oh,
Time
yeah.
Tunnel Toys. They're located at 1583 Meridian Avenue in San Jose, California. And Joe and Sharon, they have a fantastic store filled with all kinds of vintage toys and records, comic books and Godzilla toys and kitschy things and black velvet paintings.
Trinkets and tinctures.
Yes. And they even have the Keep America Strong Watch Horror Films framed picture. Now, I just want to say, if you reach out to them, you need to speak to either Joe or Sharon about it because it is kind of a specialty item, or you just go to their website, Time Tunnel Toys, and also you can check out their information about their San Jose Super Toy Comic and Collectible Show.
Yeah.
They have every 4 months. A convention filled with over 200 tables of dealers from across the country selling all kinds of vintage toys. So Time Tunnel Toys. Check them out.
On that note, I am Matt Weinhold.
I'm Shawn Sheridan.
I'm Larry Strothe.
And I'm James Gonis.
Keep America strong!
Make your own New Fears resolution.
All hail IG-88! But A League of Their Own, I do like the movie,
Sure.
but I think James is saying that maybe it was like thrown out as like it's this really fantastic, amazing. It's neat. It was educational. I didn't know a lot of the stuff about the history of the women's league, and that was cool and stuff. But it's
I've heard it described exactly, and the only reason I compare it to Shawshank is because for both of those movies, I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Neither one of them changed my fucking life. So just so you know, but I've heard people say this about both of those movies. There's not a bad scene in either of them.
Well, I don't see how you. I mean, when I look at Shawshank, it did change my life. It made me say, you know what? I just don't want to go to prison.
Wait, before you wanted
because
to?
before you
Previously.
you were like, I would love
that is a change.
prison.
Then I'm
To
glad you
me,
saw it.
that's the movie I want to make. Larry in prison.
This is all very funny, Larry in prison, but
It would be funny.
No,
and then it would turn terribly tragic.
it would be horribly tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
It
would
would
be
just be screaming night after night.
Yeah.
And then what? E.T., and then he never comes.
No, but the thing about Shawshank, it's because it's so it's long, and the networks when they have it, it's like let's play this out because it is great. It's a well done film.
Did you read the book?
I did not.
Yeah, it's very faithful.
But at the end?
Is the end different?
Yeah.
How
Is
different?
it?
I don't remember.
He dies.
Who does?
He doesn't
Red?
make it. No, not Red.
Andy Dufresne?
Yeah, he doesn't make it through the sewage.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You're
No,
kidding.
wow. How
I
about
kid you
that?
not.
Wow.
I have to reread that.
So does
Yeah.
that mean they never find the money stays in the that means
I don't know.
because that would make the whole ending because he has to escape, then he has to go and
Dig it
go,
up.
No. He has to go and to all the banks to get the money that he's been embezzling for the.
Oh,
for-
right.
Yeah. Now, if you're saying that in the book, if he dies, that means the warden gets away with it.
Right. It's a very Hays Code. It doesn't fulfill the Hays Code at all.
Wow.
I did not know this.
Right.
I like
And
Penny
Stephen King
Marshall.
wrote it.
I like Penny Marshall as Myrna, the secretary in Odd Couple.
Myrna Turner.
Oh, she was great in that. She changed my life as a child. Remember there were like 3 women on television.
That's true.
So I had Rosemarie from Dick Van Dyke, and I'm not even kidding. She was the only woman. She wasn't married. She had a comedy writing job, and
like Mary
and she
Tyler
was-
Moore,
and she was funny. Mary Tyler Moore,
newscaster.
newscaster.
Right.
But
Penny Marshall, if she had never done anything except Big, that would be enough for her to live on. Big is like a perfect movie.
Oh,
or
it is.
Jump. Wait.
No.
We don't have
Did she
to.
really
Big.
do
I
Jumpin' Jack
She
Flash?
did do Jumpin'
Is
Jack
that
Flash.
Right?
Wow, I never saw that, but
No, I
Well,
watched a little bit.
It's
I
Whoopi
saw Jumpin'
Goldberg's
Jack
tour de
Flash
force.
2. But I didn't see
You
the first
didn't?
one.
How is it? How is it directed? All right.
How is
That's
it?
our show.
Or how about why?
Why was it directed?
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah. I
You
saw
gotta
it
work.
twice in the theater. It was
Whoa,
it was a depressing year.
Was it like a dare to see it twice?
Yeah, kind of like, can you stay in this haunted house through morning?
Sometimes when you have a cold, you want to see a movie many times.
Is that right?
That was one of them. The second one that I did that is comparable is 2 Weeks Notice. I saw that twice.
Sandra Bullock.
Is that
Yeah,
what that is?
Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Oh, I never.
You know what movie I saw?
I own them both.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you watch them twice in a row each time?
I don't. The other one was Holiday, but I didn't have a cold, and it was on video.
What's
when I saw it.
Holiday?
Holiday is Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn,
Oh yeah, it's
1938.
like
Yeah, it's a
Classic
comedy,
romantic comedy.
Romantic comedy.
Right,
The B
right.
plot is capitalism blows.
Now,
Yeah.
Right.
now just to get back to Laverne, Penny
Laverne,
Marshall.
Wow, you are so respectful.
Well,
Laverne.
because there was a show called Laverne and Shirley that it went to the #1 in the ratings, and I love that show, and I watched it all the
But
time.
she was good in
And
that
she
show.
was
She was
great
a
on
good
that
sitcom
show.
She's great.
actress.
No, she
Yeah,
was-
with
and so was
with
She's a
Penny.
really
Penny
great
Mar-
comedic
Yeah.
actress.
Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams. Let's not.
They were
oh,
they were both
Yeah, it was
wonderful.
a team.
Do you remember though?
A team.
Do you
Like a
remember-
team, like a group of people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, Matt.
Yes.
Not for long though. Do you remember in the later seasons, Penny Marshall left the show?
Yeah,
and it
because
was
she had
just
to-
Cindy Williams. Like they still
the
call it
last
Laverne
couple
and
of
Shirley.
seasons. Yeah.
And like you'd see her in the credit sequence, but then it was just Cindy Williams. They built it all around the
Every
her
once in a while you get
boyfriend, and
Laverne calling from a
It
movie
was
set.
weird. Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cindy didn't have anything.
But
more
I always
important
liked
to do.
Laverne better than Shirley too. Anyway.
Oh yeah,
Everybody did.
yeah.
I did.
You could hang with Laverne.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I was
Shirley
more.
was a
but I was
pill,
more
man.
But I was more attracted.
Fucking
to,
get some
to
Vodio
Shirley.
Dodo. Hey, can I
Really?
swear?
Yeah, Cindy Williams
Okay.
is cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's cute, but
yeah.
then she, it's like
American Graffiti.
Yeah.
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 okay,
Yeah.
but
Has
like
Lucas
Laverne.
ever done any re-releases of that? Has he done any new edits?
Special edition.
Yeah, like a special edition. Has he
Yeah.
done any of that?
Added new footage.
Like Jabba the Hutt's.
Yeah,
Just like
Yeah.
Jabba the
Put
Hutt
the
in the
land
car
speeder.
instead of us.
Yeah, right.
Suzanne Summers.
That's right.
Jabba Hutt,
yeah.
like he mouths "I love you" to
Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah,
I just wanted
Suzanne
the
Summers
land
flies
speeder.
up to his plane.
Yeah.
Well, this is great.
It is great. It
But
is great.
it has really nothing.
We
to
haven't
do
even started the show, so we can talk about whatever we want.
No, but I'm just saying it would be nice to if we all sound good.
Tell us
that
about
we
this
should-
fisting hotel.
No, I just think that we should get started because
Let us begin.
You're right. You're right.
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Sam, I am.
It's the new year.
It is.
New Leaf
It
Larry.
is.
Larry, 2019.
That's what I'm going to be saying that it's the. New
I didn't know that New Leaf meant more of an asshole.
Oh, you just wait.
Okay. All right.
There's so much anger and
I feel it.
fisting and-
Wow. Yeah, I think I just got some on me. Okay.
What
Let's
is
do it
that?
then.
What is that?
It's my toy.
Is that a Hot Wheel?
It is a Hot Wheel.
Cool.
You, are we started?
We,
No,
we're,
Tonight's
we're about
episode
to
of Hot
start. but
Wheels.
I was about to, but then you distracted me by flinging your Hot Wheel here.
You were about to start. What do you mean, getting a character? Or I'm starting this.
Start that.
What do you think is happening tonight?
I was implying that. Look, she whipped out her
Hot Wheel.
her Hot Wheel,
And yes, we're
and
talking
now-
about
and
a
now-
tiny toy car.
and now she's put it away.
Yeah.
Just
That's
put it
right.
away. But you brought toys to the Monster Party, which is extra special.
Right,
Yes.
right.
It's always a good thing.
Well,
Yeah.
perhaps we should start our show so we can. bring that up.
Thanks for reminding me, Larry. I was completely lost. Here we go. Silence, please.
No, we know what the topic name.
Yes. New fears resolution.
Okay.
Is that fear apostrophe S or fears plural?
We'll fix it in post.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we doing creature features?
Yeah,
or-
yeah.
And-
I just wanted to think of a great little transition, but I don't have one. So
Wow, that's a way to suck all the fucking energy out of the whole goddamn thing.
well, that's me, Mr. Suck Out the Energy.
Amber is pretty hot, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
What is that on her arm? It says love and cough.
Two beautiful people.
Let's say Larry Strode.
Oh my god, it does. It does kind of look like Larry.
No, it doesn't.
Let me see. Can I see that?
Diehard fans.
Hang on.
Now I'm
Why
scared.
why do you keep moving
Because
it?
I'm going to enlarge.
Enlarge.
That's what I can do with photos.
Larry is enough. It's Larry is enough. Oh, it's love is enough.
Wow. That is wow.
I thought it's
That is a level of narcissism I have
I thought
never
it
seen.
said-
Larry's enough.
Look,
Just get rid of
look.
the other guy.
Wow.
No, it says Larry is enough. But
So every time you see the word love, you see the word Larry. Wow.
well, yes.
Wow.
And
Bravo, sir.
Well, and speaking of love, I thought I'd give our love and attention and thanks to Creature Features. Creature Features. Yes, they're still selling a ton of stuff on
Can
eBay,
you do me a
folks.
favor?
Yes.
Because we were all chatting. I don't know if that's going to go at the end. Say, speaking of love, and just start
Okay,
fresh.
Ready?
I like how Arrowhead Water says established 1894. I think water was around before that, wasn't it?
No.
An account called My Shit Has Worms started following us on Instagram.
My shit has worms?
Yep, they're following us now.
Should have that. Should have it looked at.
There you go.
I'm honored to have them aboard.
Yep.
We should just do an episode with all the people who follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Just like okay, this is My Shit Has Worms is following us. Just do 2 hours worth of that.
Make your own new fears resolution.
And watch anything with IG88. You know, I'm obsessed with IG88.
I just feel
Tell IG88 he's hanging with the wrong crowd.
it's just you don't get to see he's there in the background.
Yeah, I know, he just
and,
seems like
and no, if Darth Vader said, "All right, you are dismissed," And then they had a shot of IG-88 turning around and walking away and saying to
Wait,
Bosk,
it looked like
you
you
know.
could push him over.
I had to go back when they came out with that toy.
Yeah.
I liked the toy though.
Yeah, but then I had to go back to the film to go, where is he again? I thought that was a lamp.
You know, you know what's funny is Bosk is so cool looking, and in fact, Bosk has a close up of his foot, and then they get a low angle shot of his face going
Right, just like grunts.
and the thing that's irritating is when they did the large action figures, they do a large Boba Fett, and they do the IG-88. And I'm trying to think. Who are the toy guys are actually saying, okay, this IG-88, he's going to play an important part in The Empire Strikes Back, and they decide not to do the Bosk. Bosk is a much cooler looking.
Yeah.
Also, wouldn't you say that in the movie, it seems like they put a lot more work into that costume?
Bosk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
should have played a bigger part.
So why would he not? Why would he be barefoot though?
Because
He's got claws.
It's like the Gorn.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's like,
okay.
yeah.
But
He didn't need shoes.
Yeah.
no,
okay.
he's got tough feet. There's
right.
reptilian feet.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah, I shut him down.
God, yeah. What an idiot. That was the dumbest question.
You know, there were times, you think, God, Sean's so smart, and then there are times.
And then they were like, why does the boss wear shoes? Really?
Did something fall on your head? I mean, come on.
Wow.
Man. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're angry about this. On Boss's behalf.
See, it's when you say comments like that, it's like as long as it's just, if it's a logical comment, not just a throw. It's such a throw. Well, I don't know why you didn't wear boots or some shoes.
Just
It's like
vomiting your brain on the table
Yeah.
for us to clean up. And who wants to do that?
Thanks, guys.
All right, what the hell are we going to do with this?
this is a tough
New
one.
Year's, make your
own
New Year's
resolution.
Mine is regretfully to keep doing this show.
Or turn over a new leaf. You may not like what you find.
And keep hoping for that Barnaby Jones figure.
A Columbo figure I would get.
I get
Just
a
so
Columbo
you know.
figure. I get a
Oh, in a
get-
second.
I'm surprised
Barney
nobody's
Miller
put out
plays
that.
that. Seriously, we would
Oh
all
my
get
God.
that.
You would,
yeah,
you would,
Yeah,
totally.
no, I'd buy all those. No?
No. The funny thing about the Barney Miller figures, there's a group. I can see
it's a
that.
lot of figures.
As cool as the Columbo is, I'm thinking, well, Columbo and who? I mean,
Yeah, no, but they actually put out a Kojak figure back in the 70s, which I have.
For Columbo, what I would want is I'd want a couple guest stars.
Robert Culp.
Has to
Oh,
be number
wow.
one.
Jack,
Robert Culp.
Jack Cassidy.
Yeah.
Jack Cassidy, that's a good
Cassidy.
But
one.
no, but you could have the dog. You have dog, his cigar,
His dog,
and
the car.
The car. I mean, you have those three things. That's
The fucked up
that's
car.
probably it, though.
Yeah.
You could get a Captain Janeway figure and make it Mrs. Columbo.
It's true. He could.
we never, we don't ever see her, do we?
No, but she had her own
No,
spin-off.
but there was a TV series.
Was she
called
supposed
Mrs.
to be his wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
That's
In her
right.
series?
In her own
Yes,
series, yeah.
and
That's
in
why
the
they called it Mrs.
opening
Columbo.
credits, opening credits, you see like I think a framed photo of him on the mantle.
Is
or
that
something.
right? Yeah. I always
It's supposed
thought-
to be that.
yeah,
It's supposed to be that like she
left him?
No, he's out doing solving his crimes, and she I think she worked for like a newspaper or something, and she started solving crimes on her
Seems
own.
like a pretty horrible marriage.
You never saw him, and it was just
And then she
like
goes into space.
a gimmick. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Well, not on this show.
No?
Oh.
You know what? I would get the entire ensemble if they had action figures of Soap. Remember that series?
Really?
Soap?
Yeah.
I would get some of
the
them.
Show, but I
Chuck
wouldn't
and
think I
Bob.
would.
I would absolutely get Chuck and Bob.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But I wouldn't get the Billy Crystal.
I'd get all of them. Yeah.
No.
I'd get Chuck and Bob
Richard
and Bert.
Mulligan, maybe I would get.
Chuck and Bob and Bert, and then I think I'm done.
We
Yeah.
weren't.
I'd get
We,
Jessica
yeah.
Tate, totally.
we weren't allowed to watch soap.
I
know,
remember
it was
you
weird.
talking
It was
about
doity.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
and
yeah.
I remember. I think I talked about this going to church and
Oh,
the
Catholic
priest-
thing.
Father Spica. He was and he was a
Spica? Like
Father
the spider?
Spiga?
not Spiga. Spica. No, but Father Spica was a lovely guy, a really nice guy.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, it was the first time I ever saw him like really angry.
Wait, I mean, he specifically talked about the
that show
Soap?
specifically
At church?
At church.
But Father
And that-
Gabara was an asshole, but he loved the show.
He would go,
Hilarious.
I don't know if people want to. We have a lot of funny,
Wow.
great private
It's amazing
school
though that
jokes. or-
religion saw
yes.
the show Soap as like a horrible
Yeah.
threat to mankind.
But the funny thing
Yeah.
is what
amazing.
I experienced was it's all throughout history in a way, where ministers or priests,
Oh, yeah,
they
no,
found
I
something in
know.
popular
Yeah, isn't it funny?
culture.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know?
So you're anti-soap, and yet what are you getting up to?
Right.
Okay. Not Father Spiga.
No.
The spiders aren't into that thing.
No. And it's Father Spica, not Spiga. And there was no
think
Father
you're wrong.
Gabra, but that would have been really cool.
That would have been great. Yeah.
Because, the funny thing is, I would have been the only kid that would have gone up to him and go, Father Gabra, do you realize that your name is... And he goes, what?
Yeah, and you blow smoke rings in his face. What are you doing? You didn't see the movie? Oh, never mind. Every time he hit you with a ruler. Okay, what the hell? Come on.
We're
we like
we're better than this. Come on.
Are we?
Yes. Well, you kind of have an ending.
and make your own New Fierce resolution.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just and don't
Just make it quick
Before time runs out, or
before time runs out. And I cut it off.
Well,
before it's too late.
I like your before time runs out. In one of your voices.
Yeah.
And then you can do your little like like you do sometimes. Or...
This is getting better and better.
You don't knock
Before
it
time runs out. Woo! Yeah. Now I'm like I'm copying the dialogue of like a Boglin's puppet.
Shirley Cow.
Where's that figure?
Wow,
Where's the Charlie Callis figure?
Yeah. That's got to be a string operated thing. Make your own New Fears resolution. Or don't. I don't care.
No, don't do that. That's like it's like you're shitting on everybody. It's like we just spend a whole 2 hours talking about New Fears. You got to make shit on you. No, it should be positive, or fun. Shake it up. You know what? I have grown to really like Taylor Swift.
I like that song,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
I
yeah.
do.
I think
It's
she's
poppy and
and
it's catchy.
She's very talented. And,
She is.
and
I think she's going to do okay.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be fine. I think she's gonna be fine. It'd be great.
Oh hell!
If she, it'd be cool if she liked horror or mystery things, and we got her on the show.
That's really the key.
Should
to
I?
all
Should I?
of this?
Should I send a letter?
Yes.
Send letters to everyone, because what do we know? Like, how many times have we heard these stories where I wrote a letter to,
How about
Jack Pierce,
Lady
and-
Gaga.
Yeah,
She'd do it. Maybe.
Lady Gaga might do it.
Can you
Ariana
imagine?
Grande.
Oh,
like
my,
out of nowhere.
oh my God,
Lady Gaga.
I would love it. I love her.
I
bet
think
she's
she's
a horror.
great.
I bet she's a horror sci-fi
Probably
fan
is,
too.
yeah.
Oh,
bet she
totally.
is,
I'm
yeah.
sure she is.
She might be a little busy, is my thing.
She might need a break, and
But,
she might think this is fun to do.
Anybody would think this is fun to do.
I like Lady
It
Gaga.
is fun to do.
Yes.
When people come on the show, don't they say,
They
I
always-
had fun?
Always have a good time.
When have you last met someone that said, oh, God, I'm glad this was over? Have you ever met
me.
anyone?
No.
All right, let's end this. Come up with something.
Aren't you a writer? Don't you have like a good quip?
How about
Well, look, there was no
Make
common
an-
thing for this episode other than IG-88. It's the only thing came close to being a thread. So you're that.
I
or-
actually think that's kind of funny because it's so weird and random.
Yeah.
I like it. How's the comic? How was the comic go?
I forget.
New Fears resolution.
Visions.
Make your own.
And watch anything with IG-88.
I don't like the IG in it. It almost to be like
Watch
blah blah
anything.
blah with IG,
And just watch anything with IG-88.
and stay hopeful.
And hopefully more IG-88 stories. IG-88 adventures. And give us more
Like
IG-88
make your New Fears resolution. Like give IG88 another chance, or
Oh, and let's give another chance to IG-88.
all we are saying is give
IG88
IG88 another chance.
That's good. I like that.
I think we try that.
All right, whatever. Let's go.
Or we could go over it for another hour.
No, we're not.
Okay.
On that note, I am Matt Weinhold.
I'm Shawn Sheridan.
I'm Larry Strothe.
And I'm James Gonis.
Keep America strong.
Make your own New Fears resolution. All we are saying is give IG-88 a chance. Another chance?
Another chance, yeah. And you should do the Keep America Strong a little more robustly.
Okay.
But that's
I know there's something wrong with it, but
Yeah.
it needs just. I think it needs, just needs to be
IG-88.
like something like that is funny.
All hail IG-88.
I think that's funny. That's just because I like it short.
All hail IG-88. I like
And make your own New Fears resolution. Hey, and we all say it.
How's that?
So we go and make your own New Fears resolution. All hail IG-88.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's funny.
All hail.
I like that.
I'll write it down.
Yeah.
All hail.
Okay, all right.
Sure. All right. All hail.
Are you like free flow? You got it down.
Improv.
Yeah, we do. We do actually. I'm going to give you your direction. All hail. All hail.
I'm underlining
Hail.
Don't underline the
I am.
Okay.
Do you want to
Okay,
see
ready?
it?
Wow, that's good. That's right. Yeah, your writing's nice.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. On that note, I am Matt. What's your problem? What is the matter with you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I need a little water.
That 1848 water that. Okay.
I need to keep lubricated.
Hydrated. Yes. Okay.
Lubricated like IG-88.
Yes, you do. Yeah. Give him an oil bath. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's slippery. He goes in smooth.
If you think about it, if he puts his little arms in, he's just like a giant tube. You know?
Yeah. Very. Yeah.
Like an enema.
Right. See, what's the a Rancor monster suppository? Okay.
Okay, here we go.
On that note, I am Matt Weinhold.
I'm Shawn Sheridan.
I'm Larry Strothe.
And I'm James Gonis.
Keep America strong.
Make your own New Fears resolution. All hail IG-88! Nice.
That's funny.
I like it. I like it a lot.
That's funny. Yeah, we got our show.
You know what? I was wondering
Yes, Sean?
about G-Fest.
Really?
Wow.
Funny you should
I
mention.
think you and James went, right?
You know what?
did.
You're right.
Oh.
I had a dream of you wondering about G-Fest. Yes.
Dude, wait, you guys went to G-Fest.
We did.
I think we've established that.
But you've been there. I mean, you were there for the whole thing.
The whole
3 whole days of
Three-
fun
Wow.
kaiju festivity.
Yes. Whatever James said, we
It was great. It was just great. It was
Yes.
awesome.
What, did you meet a lot of people there?
We met a lot of
all kinds
listeners.
our listeners.
We made friends.
We made new friends. We went to the dealer's room and just creeped
Spent-
people out because we would just hover in front of tables and not leave and pull out money and then not buy anything. You know, that kind of guy.
Well, I'd love to hear that.
All right. Well,
well-
let's hear it now.
Roll the tape.
Monster Party's still in the G-Fest house. I'm Matt Weinhold.
And I'm James Gonis.
And we are here with Michael McCants. Woo! Mike, we met you a long time ago. Not too long ago, a couple years ago. Yeah. And it was we did a special for Japanese television promoting the American Godzilla movie. And we all did a little something for the show. And you did this amazing cosplay bit. Could you run us through that a little bit?
Yeah, so my part in that is we brought our Mothra costume to be in the show. Well, we had the whole like skit part of the show first, where we were playing games and ripping pants and.
My pants. I did it. He didn't. I don't want to paint a lurid picture.
Well, some of us ripped more pants than others. We could just leave it at that. But yeah, for my part in it, we brought a Mothra costume that we obtained that has a 40-foot wingspan, so 20-foot wings on each side. And so we did the whole game show part of it, and then I came out at the end and did a quick change into our Mothra mascot costume. And so this costume has, a giant Mothra head above my head. I look out the neck, and about these, let's say, 50-pound backpack getup that you have to put on to have these ginormous wings. And so that was my claim to fame in that moment of my G fandom, was just being a giant Mothra for this Japanese Nippon TV television show.
It was spectacular. That costume was so great, and that was, I have to say, one of my favorite moments of that entire show. Really great. You gave a little bit of a demonstration on suit acting. You showed how to walk like Godzilla.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember that. That was good times. We did kind of like, because I grew up at G-Fest, where we are right now chatting, and from a little kid from the age of 10, I would talk to all of the different suit actors that would come in as guests and stuff. And they were always so happy to talk to the little kids and show the kids, this is how you be a monster. So I got passionate about like how to be a monster, how to walk in the suit, and how to do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we did a little demonstration of different things that like Nakajima and Satsuma had told us throughout the years of like, this is what you do if you want to be a strong Godzilla, or a strong guy in a Godzilla suit. And so we went through that whole little bit of like, this is how you whip your non-existent tail around.
Yeah.
And so that was great fun. That was a blast from the past because I just spent, hundreds of hours as a child pretending I was in a Godzilla suit and walking around and roaring, It's like my family would come into my room because they'd hear a weird sound, and I would, like, look up, and my arms would be near my chest, and I would just be roaring and running away, and they're like, oh, he's doing his thing again.
He's doing his thing.
Yeah, it's normal. It's normal. Don't worry about it.
It's a phase, or is it?
Yeah, it's a phase. He'll grow out of it, but I never grew out of it, so.
Now, that costume, was that your first costume that you built?
No, it wasn't. Actually, a lady by the name of Jen was the one who did all the beautiful artwork for it. Mm-hmm. And she took it to Comic-Con. And then we got it from her and made the backpack part with the wings that extended quite so far, because the first draft kind of fell apart.
Okay.
But that wasn't the first time I wore it. I wore it in my hometown of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And as far as costumes that we build ourselves 100%, that also wasn't our first costume. We've done Godzillas and Hedras. And
wow, Hedra, huh?
Yeah, Hedra's fun. Hedra's like, you can make a real easy Hedra by just getting a bunch of garbage bags and like cutting them up a bunch. And so, yeah, the suit stuff is fantastic, though. That's really where my passion in Godzilla movies started.
Okay.
Like, I wanted to be that guy in the suit. I thought that just looked like the most fun job in the world, so.
What's the average time, construction-wise, to make one of these suits?
That really depends. I have a lot of friends in the costuming community that do various levels of suit making, and it depends on the material. You can make a nice looking Godzilla out of some light foam and some paper mache and maybe some tin foil, and maybe that's going to take a month of work on and off, but you can also do foam rubber sculpting, and that's going to take you the better part of a year depending on how much time you put into it. So
do you have a dream costume that you want to make?
Ooh, that's a good question. If I could do any costume I wanted to, I feel like I'd like to do a really good Batra larva costume because that character is so underrepresented in like the suit acting fan community of who makes them. And so I think that would just be something fun to build. I don't know why. Aside from that, I'd love to do a megalon with working spinning drills. Yeah. That's something that I have like schematics drawn out for, is like how would we make the drills spin and how would we make the horn light up. So something like that. If I had unlimited funds, that would probably be the first place I would go to.
If I had a costume like that, I would just climb in it and just relax. Like it would make me so happy that existed in our world. It would just bring me pure joy. Yeah.
Yeah, just like a little cocoon, just climb into the costume, be like, I got my drink here, and I got my stack, and I'm just going to hang out in this costume.
An inner Megalon drink caddy inside would be good.
Exactly. Oh, some of these costumes are amazing. Some of like the more advanced ones that I haven't built, but other people have. You have to have TV screens in there, and the cameras looking out. You have to have a fan system and like a spray bottle system to spray your face and keep you alive in there.
Yeah. Now, we ran into your mom.
Yeah.
Who was great. We love her. She's wonderful. And
Is it Sass?
yeah.
Yeah, Sass is my friend.
Okay. Yeah. And she was part of your presentation when you did the Mothra thing.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She does the Godzilla stuff with us. She and my mom dressed up as the Mothra fairies. So when we did the presentation for the Nippon TV show, we came out and I was in the Mothra costume, and Sass and Carol were both the Shobijin. And they came out and they did the whole song, the Mothra song. We played the music in the background, and they did the whole dance and the whole choreography to it, and that was fantastic. Because you got to have the Shobijin if you're going to have a Mothra.
Yeah.
You can't be a Mothra without the fairies.
Yes.
The costume would just be incomplete.
Yeah. And they were great. And do you normally, when you do a suit thing, do you do a presentation revolving around that, or was that kind of a first?
Yeah, anytime I've worn that Mothra costume, for any kind of event, we try to get the people wearing the suits in there, the Shobijin, but that was the first time that they had sung the song and done the dance and done the choreography with it. Usually they're just kind of standing there, and they're the fairies with Mothra, but for that show, we went all out and did the song.
If I had my way, if I could go back in time and do my bachelor party over again, I would have a Mothra egg and a Mothra stripper come out.
That's perfect. That's perfect. That's yeah, I'm sure that you could make some kind of business model with that idea.
Sure, yeah.
Make some money with it. To be honest.
Twin Shobijin strippers might be cool too.
What more could you ever want in life, right?
The ultimate bachelor party.
Yeah, you just have to be careful about what you call that egg. Yeah.
If somebody wanted to see this Nippon TV game show that you guys were part of, is it available to see, or is it something, Matt, that we should put on YouTube if you have a copy of it?
I think maybe we need to, right? Like, I don't know where that is on YouTube or if it even is on YouTube.
They sent me a link, the people from the TV show, months and months later when they had it edited and, they did the segment and they cut out the part of the pants ripping. And
How dare they?
yeah, most of the other shenanigans, because we were a rowdy bunch, But they did. They sent me a link to the episode, or at least the clips of the Godzilla part from the episode. It was on a Japanese website. It wasn't YouTube.
Yeah.
And so I have that link somewhere. I don't know if it's still live, but I do have the video saved. So
Yeah, I think one of us, Larry must have made a copy of it or something.
We should definitely try to put it up on YouTube because it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. Now, here at the convention, you are running the game room here.
Yes.
And is this a thing that you normally do, or is this the first time that you've done it this year? What's the story?
No, it's what I've normally done. I've been doing it, the Mechagodzilla arcade here at G-Fest for, I don't even remember how long, over a decade. I've been coming to G-Fest since I was 10. My first G-Fest was 97. And then I started helping out with like little things like setting up, barricades and watching the doors for people in 2000, 2001. And then one year we brought a Godzilla video game system and a TV down from the hotel rooms back in the day when you could do that at hotel rooms. And there were the big monitor TVs, and we just set it in the lobby and plugged it in and started playing our game and got a crowd of about 30 people around us all wanting to play and hang out late one night. And so we figured, we should have an actual room for it.
Sure, yeah.
And so that room grew from one TV monitor and one game to a whole arcade. And so we've been doing the arcade and the game room at G-Fest now. And we have pinball machines, and we have full standing arcade cabinets, some very nice, rare games that you can only find in Japan. We make sure to get download copies or have friends that own arcades here in town bring us their standing arcade cabinets that they've got in from Japan. And we do events and, have a fun. The gaming celebration is just another part of the celebration that, that is G-Fest. That is kaiju everything.
If I could have one game in that room, I would want that little Junior Godzilla thing.
The Junior Godzilla thing, that would be mine too.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us. And by the way, on a side note, you look fabulous. The first time I saw you, I was like, I didn't even recognize you. You lost a lot of weight, apparently.
Oh yeah, thanks. I've been working on it. I've been trying to lose some weight. It's a lot easier to fit into tight costumes when you don't have a big, huge belly roll going on. So like,
Don't get me started.
there's the motivation. There's the motivation. I can cosplay as thinner kaiju if I'm not so bulky.
Manda, maybe? Fingers crossed?
Maybe one day. I don't know if I could ever lose that much weight.
I'd be worried about you a little bit if you did the Manda one.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't want to get into anorexic Manda zone. Let's not do that.
That would be mandarexic.
Wow, nicely done, James. Well, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you at the next G-Fest.
Oh, you'll see me. I'm here.
Awesome.